on the road to MotoGP and the feeder series to the British Talent Cup and Red Bull Rookies. This is FAB-Racing Minibikes British Championship.
Hello and welcome to the fifth round of the 2025 Mastermac FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. As we're starting to get into the business end of the season, we've gone way up north and heading to one of the most picturesque tracks you will find anywhere in the UK. It is, of course, the Lakeland Circuit, the Cumbria Kart Racing Club, better known to you or I as Rowrah. There could potentially be the opportunity for a few championships to be wrapped up this weekend. It's probably not realistic, but we're going to wait and see what happens. But before we get into the action, we're going to have a wander around our wonderful paddock here and chat to a few of the riders. And before we head over to them, make sure you like, share and subscribe here at the official FAB-Racing YouTube channel. We're already getting millions of views of some of our videos now, and we would love to help grow this series even more. So as we're going to head over and try and intercept, there appears to be a bike that's in a million pieces at the moment. What's going on down here?
Changing my gearing for practice. Testing new things out.
And I don't actually think we've spoken to you so far this year on camera. So do you want to introduce yourself to the people at home?
I'm Keaton Payne and I do Pitbike 140s and the seniors, minis. I'm 18. I forgot.
So I forget sometimes as well. But Keaton, great to have you here with us. It's been a pretty successful year for you so far. Are you looking to continue that here this weekend?
Yeah. I'm going to beat the Birkins. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, that's always the end goal in the senior mini motos anyway. But as you can see, as you said, changing some gearing on your pit bike machine at the moment. Just been out there doing some practice sessions. How's the bike feeling so far?
It's feeling good. Bit tough spots, but it's been better.
I suppose that's what practice is for. It's, you know, getting the practice done and getting things right. What's the game plan for this weekend? Obviously, you said beat the Birkins on the seniors. You looking for race wins, podiums, or just kind of consistent finishes? Really state you made the way in the championship, maybe?
Try and go for a podium, at least. But if not, then consistent.
I can see your dad saying on the minis as well, so we'll have to wait and see. Keaton, thanks so much for speaking to us. We'll see you on track this weekend.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Keaton Payne there. As I said, not actually spoken to him so far this season yet, as immediately going to run into someone else. Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you. Do you want to introduce yourself to our viewers at home?
Yeah, I'm Dan.
Yeah, so what's your name? What are you riding in this year?
So I'm riding the AC40 Pros and my name's Freddie Taylor.
And great to have you with us, Freddie. How's things out there on the track at the moment? Bike feeling okay?
Yeah, just a couple of issues, but I think we're going to get it done. And yeah.
That's great to hear. And the AC40 Pros, obviously you guys race alongside the LC40 Elites at the same time. What's that like when you're out on track? Because obviously they're quite a bit faster than you.
Yeah, last weekend I was like, Claudia passed me because she's an elite, and I was like, oh, am I still in third or what? And I was like, oh yeah, because she's in a different class. So it's a bit different out there, but yeah.
Yeah, it can get a bit confusing, but you seem to handle it quite well. How do you think you're going to run this weekend? Aiming for wins?
Yeah, actually last weekend I got my first ever race win, so good. So I think I can do it this weekend again.
Yeah, obviously a big congratulations for that, well done. Is that maybe something that's going to unlock you? You just needed that one win to make that extra step?
I reckon it'll help me a lot, because now I know I can do it, I'm going to probably keep doing it.
And after this round, there is 2 more rounds, but we're only going to one other track at Three Sisters. How are you going to find that? Is Three Sisters a track you enjoy?
Yeah, I actually really like it. It's like very flowing and fast, so yeah.
Yeah, but a little bit different from Rowrah though as well. This track's a little bit slow, a little bit physical. Is that something you enjoy?
It's alright. It's just a bit alright. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how you do. Freddie Taylor, thanks very much for joining us. Best of luck this weekend.
It's okay, thank you.
Great to hear it from Freddie Taylor there, one of our younger riders in the paddock in the AC40 Pros, as you said, as we're going to now make our way down into a bit more of the paddock proper. But great to hear from a couple of our riders straight out of the gate. Of course, this is your first time watching FAB-Racing. Make sure you like, share, subscribe as well. Make sure you head over to TikTok. Motorsport Radio now live streaming on TikTok, so you can get nice short clips in the modern short clip world. world to keep yourself entertained. So we're just going to head on down, see who's around. I can see Mason Frederick's bike just in there, but I can't see him about at the moment. And we're going to see if we can just poke our head down into here. And yes, there is someone, and I'm going to intercept. Who wants to go first? Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers at home?
Yeah.
What's your name then?
Jensen Ansel.
Jensen, great to have you here with us once again. How are you feeling coming into this weekend?
Good.
And we can see your bike over there. How's it feeling this weekend?
Really good.
So are you fast? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
As in race winning fast?
Yeah.
All right. Am I gonna come back at the end of this weekend and you've won all 3 races, or am I gonna have a word because you've not won anything?
Maybe.
We'll have to wait and see. But good to hear that you're feeling confident on the bike so far. 5th round of the season. How's your season gone so far?
Good.
Just good? No, not better, not worse, just good?
Good, yeah.
Good works. Jensen, I'll leave you be. You look like you're trying to get in the zone and get focused. Thanks for talking to us, Jensen.
Bye.
Well, great to hear from Jensen Ansel there. I'll leave the rest of you guys alone as they're clearly making some fun out of their colleague there. But of course, that's part of the fun here at FAB-Racing. It is a big family. Everybody here having fun. Everybody here working to improve. As you can see, here is the main part of the track, the final paddock bend. That looks to be the Mini GP 70s heading out onto the track now. In fact, it may be the 50R, because I can see Wilson Dilks, who's back with us this weekend. We'll try and grab him later on. He's just gone out, so he won't be racing in the 70s class. As here we can see someone that I'm very desperate to speak to. I know she won't want to speak to me, but I know that lots of people around the world will be wanting to hear her and what she has to say. Nelly Nuth, is there any chance of a few words at least? Come on. If not, maybe from Dad. Come on, Nelly. Come on, we'll come down. Nelly Nuth, how are you?
Good.
Great to see you here at Rowrah. How's things?
Good.
That's good to hear. And how's the bike? You feeling fast? Going to be winning some more races?
Maybe.
Well, wait and see, because this season you've been winning lots again. You're leading the championship, of course, and are you maybe already thinking about winning the championship at the end of the year?
Yeah.
That's great to hear. So you're confident that you can get your 2nd championship in a row?
Yeah.
That is brilliant. And then what happens next then? So if you do win this championship, are you going to go up to the AC40 Pros?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So here at Rowrah, you were pretty quick here last year. So are you confident going into 2025?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Nelly, we'll let you be, because I know you probably want to get focused and get on with the job. But thank you very much for speaking to us. There we hear international superstar Nelly Nuth. Great to hear from her. I know she's a woman of little words quite a lot of the time, but very nice to speak to her as we're going to head further down. I can see a few people eyeballing me, and we're just going to walk straight in. How are we? We doing good? All well?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds. Do you want to introduce yourself to the people at home? What's your name?
Yeah. My name's Joey Astich and I race in the Minibikes.
Great to speak to you, Joey. Have you been out on track yet this weekend? How's it going if you have?
It's going all right. A few changes to the bike and just hope to go faster on this final session.
Sounds good. What kind of changes you made? We've seen a couple of people making changes to the gearbox. Something similar there?
Yeah, just changing the sprocket because we're just struggling a bit in the corners, so we're hoping our final change is going to help us tomorrow in qualifying.
Well, fingers crossed that all works out okay. Let's talk a little bit about Rowrah here. Quite a challenging circuit, very physical, lots of height changes throughout, but it's one that I know a lot of riders enjoy. Are you one of those riders?
Yeah, I really enjoy Rowrah. Come here, I think it was like a few weeks ago or something. Really enjoyed the track and just hope I can do well.
That's great to hear. So feeling confident perhaps as you're moving forward?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So what's the game plan for this weekend then? 3 wins or aiming for podiums?
Just aiming for podiums because I'm in the battle for 2nd in the championship, and so we hope we can get 2nd in the championship.
Well, it'd be fantastic if you could pick up a vice championship at the end of the year. Joey Attich, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you, and I just want to say thanks to my sponsors.
Of course, a big thank you to those as well. Thank you very much, Joey. Just going to do a 180 now, and I've spotted the man, the myth, the legend that is Ian Harris here with us once again. Ian, great to have you join.
Guys. How are we?
Oh, we are very well, thank you. Not quite as warm as it was yesterday, thankfully, but doing well.
But it's nice, isn't it? It is nice. We love Rowrah. It's one of the best places we come to. A long drive, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, it definitely is in my eyes. And obviously, you got the van, got all the kit with you. Anything special you're selling this weekend, or just the normal stuff?
So far, just the normal stuff. Lots of tyre changing, as always. So transponder rentals, but hey, we get a lot of interest every round, and we've just had the new Blatter come over for the 12mm class, so it's a ready spec bike with the extra long swinging arm on it, and a couple of other nice bits on there. Pretty much the same as the regular Blatter, but a little bit better.
That's nice. So we can see it there, obviously, the new bike, as you said. So is that just straight out of the factory? It's all ready to go?
Straight out of the factory, that one. So arrived yesterday.
Oh, that's properly brand spanking new.
It's properly new.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. If anyone new's watching along, obviously, you know, as I said, you're Ian Harris. Do you want to just maybe explain a little bit about what you do at FAB-Racing? Because you are kind of the man that saves everyone when things break.
Yeah, my job is to save everyone's day. So I have all the spare parts most people need here. We keep all the mini moto bits. We keep some pit bike stuff. We do all the tyres for the mini GP bikes. You name it. We do a lot. We got oils, tyre warmers, boots, everything to keep people on their bikes for the weekend, really. And then in between, we try to drum up new riders all the time with the race school that we run. We have the bike sale side of things then, and with every bike sale comes a new rider. That's what we need.
Yeah, funny how that works. And just a quick touch on the race school as well, which is also run by Sarah. You know, how does that work? You know, if you're maybe got someone at home, a young rider who's looking to get involved, how would they get in contact with you, and then what happens at the race school? So
with the race school, it's intended for those that want to come racing. It's we try not to promote it as a come and have a go on a motorbike day. It is for those that have, hey, we've seen this mini moto racing, we go to BSB or MotoGP, and we'd like the kids to have a go at doing this. So we run a race school predominantly over the winter. So starts end of October, runs through to the end of February. It's on a Sunday morning. It's an application-based race school at the M4 Mini Moto Junior Race School. And we do have a couple of rental bikes for those that haven't yet dipped their toes in the water and buy a bike. But essentially it is for kids who want to go racing, to do the first few months of training before round one starts and they hit the track with both feet first.
Brilliant stuff. Ian, we'll let you get on with your day. Thank you very much for talking to us.
You're welcome, guys. See you again next time.
Absolutely. Great to hear from Ian Harris there. As we'll quickly run into Caden Bailey. That's a good chance. Caden, you look like you've just come in. How's things?
Good.
So, yeah, looks like you've just come in from out on the track. How's things going?
Good. Pretty good.
Yeah, great to hear. You feeling fast this weekend?
Yeah.
So, looking for race wins then?
Yes.
And how's the bike feeling? Feeling good?
Yeah.
And the track's good?
Yeah.
And you're good?
Yeah.
Caden, awesome stuff. Thanks very much for talking to us, buddy. Great to hear from Caden Bailey there. And yeah, great to speak to Ian as well. Of course, himself bringing all the spare parts and the Sarah Harris Race School as just discussed as well. And on the topic of race schools and MotoGP, I know that he just mentioned, I just want to give a quick shout out to Casey O'Gorman, our latest FAB graduate to make it into Grand Prix racing. He's standing in the Moto3 ride this weekend in Austria. So a huge congratulations to Casey. We'll all be watching along and seeing how it goes. I can see a Mason Fedrick there, and I'm going to immediately run into him. Hello, Mason. How are we?
Good, yeah. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. We saw you out on track a little while ago. How's things on the bike?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, feeling fast?
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about Rowrah. You're a pretty quick rider yourself. What does it take around here to be fast?
I really like this track. It's nice and uphill and downhill, and I really like the corner where you go downhill into the right and then into the left.
Yeah, no, it can be tricky, but I know it's a track a lot of riders like. So what's the game plan, especially moving into the last couple of rounds of the season then? Are you just looking to get those consistent finishes to really kind of stake your place in the championship maybe?
Yeah, I really want those wins.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed for you. So, yeah, 3 races this weekend, I assume, on top all 3? Or is that the plan?
I hope so.
Awesome stuff, Mason. Thanks for talking to us.
That's great, thanks.
Great take from Mason Frederick there as well. I just want to poke my head in and see if Sebastian Gazlawski is in. Doesn't look like he is at the moment, but he's a rider that could be picking up the championship at potentially this weekend in the Mini GP 50R class. It's a big ask, but it could be done. It is mathematically possible for him to clinch that crown, which would be an incredible feat. So we're going to have a run down here now. I can see a couple of bikes over here. We've got Rex Austin's there. Looks like somebody's just about to head out. Any chance of a quick one of you just come back in? Just came in. Well, great to see you. How was it out there?
Good, yeah, just working on stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, I can see you're a bit hot under the helmet. It's quite tough around here, but you enjoying yourself at least?
Yes, one of my favourite tracks, but it's hard to get that hang of it. But when you get good at it, it's quite fun, yeah.
Absolutely. So, how's things feeling on the bike? Feeling all okay at the moment?
Yeah, I'm feeling fine. But my mum's took us this weekend because my sister, Lucy Curtis, is at Donington Park racing on the 125, so but everything's feeling all right on the bike, so yeah.
Yeah, of course, sending all your best over to Lucy. Hope she absolutely smashes it. But of course, we've got to talk about your weekend, Bradley, because you're the one that's here at Rowrah. So what's the game plan? Again, getting into the bit of the business end of the season as well. There's only 2 more rounds after this, both at Three Sisters as well. So are you maybe starting to think about the championship a little bit more, or are you just out there having fun, looking to do as well as you can?
Both, to be honest, because I've been having fun in the practices today. I've been at full set in the head, so I'm looking forward to it. But Three Sisters is one of the tracks I'm quite good at, and it's my birthday on the first one, so...
Oh, I didn't know that, so maybe a bit of a birthday boy magic coming our way then.
Yeah, hopefully. So.
Well, fingers crossed, Bradley. We'll get you get cooled down and get yourself changed, and we'll see you on the track this weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Great to hear from Bradley Curtis there. Bit of timing as we just grabbed him as he came in from his session. A couple of other riders we're going to immediately run into there. Hello, how are we?
Hello, yeah, I'm good.
And, do you want to introduce yourself to our viewers at home? Try not to get run over by a bike.
Yeah, I'm Carter Spinks and I'm racing in the Mini GP 50Rs this weekend.
Now, am I correct? This is one of your first FAB rounds that you're doing?
This is my second. We did Houghton Park earlier on in the season. But we've been, most of these rounds have bumped into British Minibikes, which we're mostly focusing on. But we've come to this one because we've been here 2 times already this year, and we just wanted to get a few more FABs rounds, and we think we might come to probably the next one as well.
Yeah, next on the Three Sisters. Well, that'll be great to hear. What do you think how you're gonna fare against the FAB-Racing competition? You got high hopes?
Yeah, I have got high hopes to go up and try and obviously get up as far as I can. But we've been all right today. I beat my 110 times on my 160, 54.1. I think was my personal best today, which for me is a good improvement.
Yeah, sounds like you're running pretty fast then, so I guess just keep building that confidence on the bike. That's the plan for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully it is to keep building the confidence, and more we get confident, more we can push a bit more and try run up top and hopefully get a podium.
Well, fingers crossed for you. We'll see how you do on track. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Going to do another quick 180 because I've just seen one Matthew Thomas who was revving his bike really loudly behind me and nearly deafened me. So thanks for that one, Matthew. We'll follow you into the awning quickly. But I was watching you trackside. Bike was looking pretty good. You were looking pretty quick earlier on. You feeling okay?
Good, yeah.
Go on, I'll let you take your helmet off quickly as Dad wheels the machinery back into the awning. But yeah, as I said, looking pretty fast out there to my eye anyway. What are the lap times looking like at the moment?
It looks quite good. I had a couple of movements in that session, but apart from that, it's been fantastic. Gone down faster every session, so hopefully I can get top spot.
Fantastic to hear, and I guess it's a bit lucky because I can see you've clearly been working hard in that session, and luckily it was like 30 degrees yesterday. Today it's cooled down a little bit to 20, so is that something that you're glad of as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, not surprised. It's still a little bit muggy, but perhaps not as warm as it could be. So coming into this weekend then, Rowrah, track you like?
Yeah, I've already been here 3 times this is my 3rd time this season because I've been 2 times with B&B. It's been good those times, but hopefully I can keep it going today and this weekend.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. So, again, as you said, bike feeling good. You can just see it behind there. I'm sure Ty's very warm at the moment. Is the plan this weekend just be as consistent as you can, or are you trying to, kind of etch your way onto the podium, maybe?
Trying to get on the podium. Well, this season wasn't really my go-to one. So, hopefully, I can get some more points to go on the podium.
Oh, I'll have to wait and see. Thanks so much for talking to us, Matthew, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Matthew Thomas there as he again tried to deafen me as he was coming back into the awning. I can see a couple of our very talented young female riders waiting for us. That is perfect timing. Hello, Daisy Polden. How are we?
I'm good, thank you.
That's great to hear. How's things been so far this weekend here at Rowrah?
This morning I had a couple bike issues, but then my dad managed to fix them and I've managed to get a good practice.
That's good to hear. So what were the issues? Do you know anything? Was it anything major or just little things that just needed to be sorted?
I mean, I think they were little things like moving the bars and all that and some other things, but I'm not sure.
Well, at least your dad, mechanic number 1, was straight on the case. And I see that your sister is over there as well, Savannah. I'm sure we'll go and grab her in a second. But how's the feeling in the family camp? All positive at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty positive. We're all hyped up for the weekend and hopefully we can all have a good weekend at Rowrah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's mission objective number 1, of course. What about you yourself, though? What's your personal goal for round 5?
I mean, I want to try and get top 5 this weekend. I've been building up and I've been getting loads of 6th and 7th, so hopefully I can do that.
Yeah, it'd be great to see you make that leap again. We've seen how much you've come on as a rider already this year. Do you think maybe if you did finally crack into that top 5, it's just kind of almost like unlock you a little bit, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it will unlock me, like you said, and I think I would be very proud of myself if I do get top 5.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Thanks very much for talking to us, Daisy. Let's see if we can grab Savannah as well. If we can. Oh, she's going to head over to us. Even nicer. Hello, Savannah. How are we?
Good.
Good to hear, and great to see that you're back with us here and back on the bike. Are you feeling good?
Yes.
And how's the bike? Fast?
Good.
That's great to hear. And do you want to win this weekend, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Do you think you can win this weekend?
Yes.
That's good to hear. I'll let you get back to your mum, but thank you very much, Savannah, for talking to us.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Daisy and Savannah Polden. Great to chat to those guys as well. Again, Savannah, one of our younger riders in the paddock, but both her and Daisy very, very talented, of course. Partaking in the House of Motor All-Female Rider Cup, the first ever grassroots all-female rider competition across the UK that has every rider that is a female, and all of our classes taking part, of both of them doing quite well. Nellie Newth, of course, is leading the way in that championship, or pseudo-championship, so to speak. But it's still, they are doing a very good job. Going to head down, so I can see the 991 there of Rex Austin, who I'm just going to awkwardly position myself next to. Hello there, how are we?
Good.
Good to see you, and see you watching along, trying to gain the upper hand on your opponents, maybe?
Yeah.
Just watching along because you're bored?
Yeah, I like watching the younger riders, see how they're coming along.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. You picked a very good spot for here at the final corner, and it's one where if there's going to be a crash, it's probably here as well, so a bit of excitement for you. How are you feeling this weekend, though? All okay?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's a really good track. I like this track.
Yeah, no, it is fast. And is it a track that you like? Do you like it because you're good round here, maybe?
Yeah, I was always good round here on my mini motos, so I've sort of tried to carry that to the metric kit, and yeah.
Of course, you've made that jump up to the metric kit, the bigger gear bikes, and you're doing very well on them, it must be said. But what's the difference? Obviously, they're a lot bigger, they're a lot faster, they've got gears. But what would you say is the main difference between the metric kit mini GPs and the mini motos?
They're a lot harder to ride and a lot more to think about, really. So.
Is it more fun, though?
Oh, much more fun.
Well, that's great to hear. We'll let you carry on watching and getting that data, Rex Austin, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Great to hear from Rex Austin watching away and getting some insights into his opponents, as we've got a couple more of our young female superstars here with us this weekend. Hello, how are you?
Good.
And what's your name?
Keely.
Keely Bailey, of course. And what are you riding on this weekend, Keely?
Mini moto.
That's great to hear. And how are you feeling, rookies, of course? How are you feeling coming into this weekend, Keely?
Good.
That's fantastic. Are you feeling fast?
Yeah.
Awesome. And obviously, you're in the FAB-Racing Rookies Cup. You're just starting your racing career. But, where do you see yourself? Do you want to be in MotoGP or British Superbikes, maybe?
No.
No, you don't want to be in either of those. Do you just do this for fun, then?
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's perfectly enjoyable. And
It's scary.
is it too scary? No, it's not too scary.
It is.
No, it's fun. Well, maybe the fear factor is something you'll learn to deal with as you're a little bit older, and maybe then you'll decide you want to be a MotoGP rider. But still, you've been having a good season so far. Are you looking to continue that here this weekend?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And where do you think you're going to be finishing roughly in the races?
12th or 13th.
Still a very, very good position. So we'll be looking out for you. Maybe even getting to the top 10?
Maybe.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much, Keely, for talking to us. Let's hope you get into that top 10.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Keely Bailey there. We've got a whole host of riders over here that we're just going to try and intercept. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are we?
Very good, actually.
Well, that's a confident pretty good. Have you been out and enjoying yourself?
Yeah, fastest 70 so far. I'm really enjoying myself here.
That's really, really good. So for the people at home, what's your name? What you're riding in?
My name's Logan Cousins. I'm riding in the Mini GP 70s and the Extreme 200s.
Logan, of course, great to have you along with us. It's been a very strong season for you so far. You've come along a long way as a rider and as a young man. Looking to continue that this weekend, of course. You said you're feeling fast. Is that something that's translating into the races?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Awesome stuff. So you're aiming for wins then?
Yeah.
And of course, it's getting to crunch time now. Only 3 more rounds left, including this one. Are you starting to think about the championship, maybe?
Yeah, because I'm only 3 points behind Taylor, and because I know he's not here this weekend, it could be a good opportunity for me. So hopefully that goes well.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But again, as we're getting into the dog end, Three Sisters coming up for the last 2 rounds as well. Is that a track you're confident at?
Yeah, Three Sisters has been one of my strongest tracks on the Mini Moto, so hopefully it will go well on the 70 as well.
We'll have to wait and see. But this weekend, talk to us a little bit about Rowrah. What's it like being out there around here?
It's very, very fun, quite twisty. It's quite busy in the box, especially around here. But it's quite a bit of fun around here. I like it.
That's good to hear. It would be a bit disappointing if you didn't like it, because I think everybody else likes it.
Yeah.
Well, still, so, again, 3 rounds left to go. You're confident here. You sound like you're confident at Three Sisters as well. So you're setting yourself up for potentially a very, very strong finish in the championship.
Yeah.
Well, pause to hear Logan Cousins. We'll have to see how you get on. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Great to hear from Logan Cousins there, of course. Very confident young man who's had a fantastic season this 2025 at the moment. Now, here is a young man that I really want to speak to. I know he doesn't want to speak to me. Sebastian Gazlowski. Did you know you can win a championship here this weekend?
Yes, I can.
It's a tall order, but do you think you can do it?
50-50.
Well, if you do pull it off, that'll be amazing. If you don't, you've basically got one hand on the trophy going into round number 6 at Three Sisters in about a month or so's time. But still, Seb, how are you feeling?
Good. My rounds have been superb so far, and just hope to carry it on.
Yeah, awesome stuff. We know that Rowrah is a track you really like. You're normally very strong around here. Back in Mini Motos, you were absolutely rapid. Are you looking to continue that here?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, I'd like to think so anyway. How's practice sessions been going? Feeling fast?
Good. I've got 4th and 2 seconds so far, so I'm just trying to get that first at the top.
Yeah, so obviously building that time up, building that confidence up on the bike, which is great to see. Again, we know that you're quick around here. What does it take to be fast at Rowrah?
You have to believe in yourself and believe in your mechanics.
Wow, that's a very media-trained answer, that. Who's been media training you? Well done. Very, very good. Still, though, 3 more rounds of the season, including this one. You could win one championship here this weekend. It's possible. You think it's 50-50, but it is quite tight on the maths. Either way, you've got very healthy leads in the 50s and the 50Rs. How confident are you, especially going into the final 2 rounds at Three Sisters, that you've kind of got it in the bag?
Not really, but I just really hope.
I mean, I guess, never say never, anything can happen. But again, you've got a strong lead. If you continue going out there doing your thing, you'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's wait and see what happens. Super Seb, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
I know he hates it when I walk up to him with a microphone, but it is always great to hear from Sebastian Gieslawski as we're just going to head down further to this end of the paddock. But yeah, always great to hear from him. As I said, it is possible that he can pick up a win in one of the championships, the 50R class, this weekend. It is very, very tight in terms of the maths, but he is able to do it. The Mini GP 50 class that he also leads the way in, not quite mathematically possible this round. Heading into the next round, though, at Three Sisters, he will pretty much have one hand on the trophy by the time we get there ready. There's a fair few riders over here. Some of them we've already spoken to. Someone's got their hand up. You can if you want. I mean, I was kind of just going to walk over and stick a microphone in your face anyway. The first question, really, what happened?
I high-sided and broke my tib.
Ooh, no, it's quite nasty. So I think it's safe to say you're not going to be racing this weekend.
No, I'm just going to be cheering on all my friends and wishing them the best of luck.
Oh, that's a real shame, but good to see that you're straight back to the track and in high spirits. Until you're high-sided, how are things going?
It was going well. I was just getting used to the bike, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, really. But still, that's racing. Sometimes you get hurt, sometimes these things happen. It's how you come back and move on. But yeah, you're still here, supporting your friends and your colleagues. We've got a whole host of them all surrounding us. I think we've spoken to about half of them already, to be fair. But it's still great to see you showing that support. Shows you want to be here.
Yeah, I just want to cheer on my friends and see them do good, even though I'm hurt.
Absolutely. And we've been hearing a bit of a rumour mill recently about you, potentially British Talent Cup 2026. Is that anything to go off of? That's what we've heard off the grapevine. That might be something that could be happening.
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to buy that's my rumour. I'm going to British Talent Cup 2026, guys. Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. That's officially happening. But yeah, no, that's just the rumour mill. I just wanted to see, if there was any, maybe you'd let slip if there's any actual conversations that's been had, or I guess not then.
No, I mean, I wish I was going to British Talent Cup, but not yet. I'm just going to carry on just riding my 160 for a bit, and then maybe, hopefully, British Talent Cup. But for now, that's all right.
Well, wait and see what happens still. Thanks for talking to us. Sorry you broke your leg. I'm sure we'll see you back on track very soon, though.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Great to speak to you, mate, and we'll turn immediately around and go straight back to it. Marc Marquez hat on. You're feeling very confident, obviously liking his chances at the Red Bull Ring this weekend. However, how are you feeling coming into Rowrah?
Good.
That's great to hear. And what's your name for the people at home who maybe don't know who you are?
Randy.
Randy Carter, of course. Great to have you here with us, Randy. It's been a strong season for you so far. You looking to continue that here?
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. And Rowrah, is it a track you like? Maybe your favourite circuit?
Second favourite.
What's your favourite then?
Clay Pigeon.
Oh, that is a good one, to be fair. It's fast round there.
Yeah.
Obviously, though, here at Rowrah, it's also pretty fast round here. Clay Pigeon's quite different from this place, though, so why do you like them both so much?
Well, Clay Pigeon, it's bumpier, but even though it's bumpier, last year I went Superman mode, and then this year I came first, third and third, and overall came second.
So you just like it because you're good round there, is that basically it?
Yeah.
That's absolutely fair enough, but are you going to be good this weekend as well?
Better.
Oh, I like the confidence, Randy. Thanks for talking to us.
You're welcome.
On the road to MotoGP and the feeder series to the British Talent Cup and Red Bull Rookies, this is FAB-Racing Minibikes British Championship.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the fifth round of the Master Mac FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. You join us on a gorgeous day in a gorgeous part of the world. That's right, we're at the Lakeland Circuit, nestled in the heart of Cumbria, back at Rowrah once again, a real staple of the calendar here at FAB, and it is set to be once again a fantastic weekend of racing, where we do have the potential, it's a very, very tight potential, but it is there that some championships may already be wrapped up, so we'll keep our close eyes on that. But as we've got some issues for the 96 in the final qualifying session of the day, you join myself, Ross McIntyre, Alex Rizzoli alongside with the commentary box. We're moments away from the first race of the weekend, Alex, and it's set to be a fantastic day.
We are indeed. It does have, this track has some fantastic weather this weekend, and honestly, I think it's one of my favourite tracks that I've ever been to. It's so picturesque here, it's beautiful, as we're just seeing a couple of bikes in the PB 140 class going left, right and centred onto the track. So thank you very much for tuning in wherever you're watching this on YouTube and indeed on TikTok for the first time as well. If you don't follow us on TikTok, please follow us, Motorsport Radio on TikTok as well, as we are just waiting for the final few bikes to come onto the grid, and then we can get started on this day of racing on Saturday. So show us your love. Where are you listening from? We've had some people listening from all over the world. Obviously, a lot of support for Nelly Nuth as well. But it's always a fantastic couple of series to watch here. So the first race that we will be having today is the AC40 Pro and the LC40 Elite. We can just see a couple of them already getting ready to come on to the grid. Now, the main difference between these two bikes, the AC40 Pro category has a 14mm restrictor, and we also have two other classes of AC40 as well. We've got the AC40 Pro, which is a 14mm restrictor, the AC40 Inters, which is a 12mm restrictor, and the AC Rookies Cup, which is a 10mm restrictor. But in this race, there is going to be basically two races at once. So we have the AC40 Pros with the 14mm restrictor, and also the LC40 Elites. That is basically just the normal AC40, but instead of AC, air-cooled bike, the LC40 is a liquid-cooled bike and has no exhaust restrictor. So both of these bikes are fantastic to watch, great racing, but the LC40 Elite does seem to have the edge on the air-cooled bike. So we're just going to wait for these bikers to come out on the track. Look at all 4-5 of the riders so far, eager to get onto the grid, and I shall read you out the grid as follows in a little bit, as it can get a little bit confusing with the AC40 Pros and the LC40 Elites as well. So as I said, oh look at that, some camaraderie there between those two bikers on the right, giving each other fist bumps. But as I said, there are two races in this one race, so as I said, it can get a little bit confusing, but the top three bikes on the actual grid will be the LC40 Elite, also Claudia Dodman as well. So we have 4 LC40 Elites in this race, which will be fairly quicker than the AC40, but starting from P4 on our grid will be the pole position for AC40 Pro. So the top three bikes on the actual grid will be the LC40 Elites, and then starting P4 will be our AC40 Pro pole position as well. Some new riders this weekend as well, and it's looking like, oh, we're ready to go. Look at that cloud of two-stroke smoke absolutely clouding up the pit lane there, as we can see some of the final, well, we can see the start-finish straight here. It's a beautiful track. If you've never seen Rowrah before, you're in for a treat. It is a fantastic circuit. As I said, personally, one of my favourites. It's actually built in an old quarry. So as soon as you come into the circuit, you can see all the circuit and the paddock and everything. It's fantastic. So we're seeing a couple of riders line up at the minute. So on pole position, as I said earlier, remember there's two races in this race. The top three bikes will be the LC40 Elite class. So that is Jensen Cedras, number 2, on pole position, Maxwell Keats on the number 24 alongside him, and Logan Orr on the 144 in P3. That is the LC40 Elite top 3. Also Claudia Dudman in P9 on the 28 bike. She is back there as well on an LC40 Elite bike as well. But pole position for the AC40 Pros is as I said, is P4, which is the 51 of Tommy Williams. Then going back, we've got the 57 of Reed Saxelby in P6 or P3. In class, the 67 of Joey Athasich, Freddie Taylor just behind him on the 118 bike, Danny Longhurst on the 26, Claudia Dudman, who I said is in the LC40 Elite, starts P9, Oliver Wilson in the AC40 Pro, Ethan Bayliss on the 86 in 11th, and lining up our final bike on the grid is Cooper Say on the 89 bike. Now this is going to be an amazing race. First race of the weekend. This track always provides some brilliant racing, and I believe we're going to have one more formation lap before the lights go out, so we're just waiting until we get the green flag, and these there we go, and we can see all the riders trying to go left, right and centre. I think they think they're racing at this point, but they are all trying to go here, there and everywhere, trying to get as much heat as they can into the little tyres that these bikes have. Oh, look at that, all the two-stroke smoke in the background, and just look at how pretty this track is as well. You can see all the rocks and the stones and everything. So this is through turn 4 now. Now coming through turn 5, which is a right-hander, so we've got a turn 4 and turn 5, the 180-degree hairpins. Now, who is going to win this race? Obviously, more than likely, it will be the LC40 Elite overall, but who is going to win in the AC40 Pro category? That is what we are wondering. Look at that, the beautiful quarry stones. There's actually a little lake on the left-hand side just before we join it back on the track. And now this is one of my favourite sections here, the right-hander into the left-hander into the long sweeping final corner, as we see our bikes lining up on the grid getting ready for lights out. As we can see a fantastic group of bikes and a fantastic bunch of marshals and volunteers and parents as well. And we'd just like to say thank you to all the marshals, all the medical staff and all of the volunteers who make us go racing. It's fantastic. Ross, who do we think is going to win this?
Well, up the front, Jensen Cedras on pole in the elite race, but looks like there may be some issues there for the number 2 bike going from the right-hand side of the grid. That's your left. Unfortunately, a giant telegraph pole in the way, but Tommy Williams, that 51 pole sitter in the pro race, looking very racy all weekend. Let's see how he's going to do. Looks like we may be missing a couple of riders, unfortunately, but I'm sure we're getting ready to send things racing. Lee Clowes, our flag marshal, makes her return to FAB-Racing this weekend after a couple of weekends away, and she will get ready to send them as we wait for those red lights to kickstart things here at round 5. It is lights out and we're underway. Great start from Tommy Williams. Cedras will lead into turn number 1. I think Logan Orr got caught up there, so Williams up to 3rd overall, the 51 with a blistering start away there at the lights as they come down into McRae's hairpin for the very first time, making their way through before going back up the hill. The mini moto engines churning away, straining underneath them. That's Keats looking for a way to get back into the lead of the elite race and the overall lead. Through Airedales they go for the first time, and it's Cedras that leads the way in the elite race. The front 2 breaking away. Tommy Williams in P3 overall. He leads in the pros.
Absolutely a great start to this race so far. As we said, we're pretty sure that the LC40s would be faster, as we see these 2 riders going side by side. Oh, it's very close going through St. John's there. Jensen Cedras and Maxwell Keats going wheel to wheel now, coming into the final corner into Paddock Bend round the right-hander, and it's across the line, ending this first lap of fantastic racing here for the AC40 Elites. Oh, they're getting very, very tight there. Cedras and Williams going side by side there. Jensen Cedras on that last lap, setting the fastest lap by quite a margin as well, over a second, as we turn left into McRae's, now into Iredale's, coming into the right-hander of Iredale's here. Still 2 very different lines there, and Cedras has gone wide, and Williams are side by side. Cedras and Williams side by side coming into the Stuart S's, and it's going to be Cedras who holds on to that lead.
Smart there from Cedras, using that momentum. He's got a more slight frame than Williams, slightly smaller, so he can use that momentum down the straight to his advantage, taking those wider lines. So smart stuff there from the number 2, but he is keeping the pressure on. Is P2 of Maxwell Keats, looking left, looking right, can't quite find a way through there. They're going to make it 7 laps left to go. The 2 elite bikes that are running away at the front of the pack. P3 in the elites, Logan Orr on the 144. He's down in P4 overall at the moment. Once again, Keats tries to get that run out of the opening chicane, just can't quite find anything as it stands as they head back up the hill. So much undulation here at Rowrah. The cameras really don't do it justice, just how up and down this circuit is, like a roller coaster out there for these young riders. And once again, Cedras using that momentum to his advantage down the back straight, using that straight line pace to keep ahead of Keats.
Yeah, Williams taking a tighter line coming out of Iredale's there as he manages to go side by side, but it's just not enough. Cedras manages to keep more speed going through those set of corners, coming through St. John's now and around Paddock Bend, our final corner, with 6 laps to go at the line. Who is going to go into the lead, or who's going to stay into the lead, I should say. It's between Cedras and Williams. So far, he's dropping back just a little bit, maybe a tenth or two, coming into the first corner. It's great to see Tommy Williams down into third now. Reed Saxelby up into second place so far. Look at this, the 51 or 57 trying everything, going left and right. Look at how much more speed he took around through there. It's fantastic. So we are watching Reed ahead and Tommy Williams just behind now. So this is Reed Saxelby and Tommy Williams just the lead of this group, dropping back a little bit behind. This is Logan Orr, Freddie Taylor, Joey Athasich and Danny Longhurst, I believe, fighting for positions there. Reed Saxelby, Tommy Williams to the left and to the right now. You can see on the back 51, Tommy Williams now trying to make a move on Reed Saxelby. It's not where it's coming. It's St. John's, but he's gone on the inside. Oh, that was very, very close there on the exit of St. John's, coming round at Paddock Bend as well. Fantastic. Sunny Bend is our first corner so far. A great start for these two. Who is going to come out on top? I tell you what, I'm not sure about who is going to come out on top, but it's certainly a very, very close race so far.
Yeah, battle for the pro race lead, getting very aggressive. I believe Williams may have made a mistake somewhere, which allowed Saxelby to go through. So Saxelby on that 57 with the white helmet is leading this pro race, but just behind him, the man who started on pole in this class. He's down in P2 after possibly a small error, unable to make his way back through. As it stands, Sax will be looking for what I believe will be his first race win in 2025 here in the Mastermark FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. As a few riders a little bit further back, that looks to be Logan Orr at the front of this train, the 144, P5 overall. He is P3 in the elite class. Just behind him, the likes of Taylor, Athasich, Danny Longhurst as well. They're fighting for the final podium places in the pro class. Of course, the elite bikes and the pro bikes, yes, they're on track at the same time, but if you overtake someone in a different class, it doesn't have any effect on your points. All that matters is where you finish in respect to those elsewhere in your class. Look ahead, we can see there Williams was looking for another go on Saxelby. Don't think he was able to make it through, as these riders here, they stay in formation for the time being. 4 laps left to go.
Yeah, it looks like Claudia Dudman has unfortunately dropped out of this race and potentially retired from this race as well. So that was one of our 4 bikes in the LC40 elite class there. So unfortunate first race for her, but Jensen Cedras leads the LC40 elite class with Maxwell Keats just behind. And that battle that we were watching earlier was between Reed Saxelby and Tommy Williams, the 57 and 51 respectively there. Now through the right-hander of St. John's, this gaggle of 4 cars here. I believe this is Logan Orr, Freddie Taylor, Joey Athasich and Danny Longhurst, all going wheel to wheel, trying to use a bit of an accordion effect, as you see when they come into the braking zones. They all bunch up. So 3 laps to go at the line. Coming through the first corner, you can just see the undulation as we go left, and this is the battle between Tommy Williams and Reed Saxelby. Tommy Williams has actually got ahead of Reed Saxelby, moving up into the lead in the AC40 Pro class, but is Saxelby going to be able to make a move on the inside? Not on this occasion, but remember what we saw earlier, some riders like to take a really tight exit out of there, but some like to go even wider and carry the speed through. The 51, Tommy Williams ahead in the bright blue overalls and the bright blue bike. Reed Saxelby just behind with the white helmet and the yellow fluorescent overalls as well. Coming through St. John's now, through the right, through the 90-degree left. It's a great race so far. 2 laps to go in this race. Which one of these 2 riders is going to win? We're not sure. How about you?
Well, right now, Williams holding on in front of this battle, in the battle for the lead in the AC40 Pro class. But again, Saxelby looks very quick down the straight. Williams opening up a slight gap here on the penultimate lap as that train of bikes behind them still there. Logan Orr almost acting like like a mobile chicane holding those up behind him, even though he's not racing them for position or, of course, in the elite class, the faster unrestricted class, as there we see the battle for the overall lead. The elite lead, Cedras still in front of Maxwell Keats. The pole sitter has absorbed all of the pressure, and as they round paddock bend to make it, 1 to go in this race. Last lap flag is out. Is it do or die time maybe for Maxwell Keats? The 24 will try everything he can as they come down the straight. Going to be some traffic heading into McRae's. That could cause a little bit of chaos, but a bit too far back at the moment. That looks to be the 1-2-6 of Oliver Wilson getting involved with Ethan Bayliss, but through go the leaders. And in fact, I think Tommy Williams may have lost out a little bit more there. Once again, wider line from Cedras. There's so many different lines you could use around this racetrack. It makes it so exciting. But with half a lap left to go, Cedras is just holding on to the battle for the elite lead.
He is indeed. Cedras leading so far from Keats. Is there going to be a change for position coming around St John's for the last time in this race? Through the left now. This is going to be interesting. Can Keats make a move on into the final corner? I'm not sure unless he gets a tighter exit. It looks like it'll be the number 2, Jensen Cedras, that wins this race overall. But which rider is going to win the AC40 Pro category? Remember, the blue 51 of Tommy Williams and the white helmet Reed Saxby 57 just behind, waiting for them to come round the final corner. Which one of these riders is going to win this race? It looks like it will be Tommy Williams who takes the win. And a fantastic race there. We can Reed Saxby taking it home in second place there. Logan All third in the LC40 Elite and 5th overall. Well, certainly a fantastic race there so far. So, let's have a look at the final results of this race. So, LC40 Elite race, P1, Jensen Cedras, P2, Maxwell Keats, and bringing it home in P3, Logan Orr on the 144. Claudia Dudman, unfortunately, didn't start this race. But the AC40 Pros, Tommy Williams won on the 51 bike with Reed Saxby in second. Freddie Taylor finished P3, Joey Athasich P4, Danny Longhurst P5, Ethan Bayliss P6, Oliver Wilson P7, and Cooper Say P8.
Brilliant racing there to kickstart our weekend then. Shame for Logan Orr, just didn't quite have the pace of his competitors in the elite class. Finished down in P5 overall, and of course Claudia Dudman a DNS. That's a real shame for her. Also lost Cooper Say as well, a DNF for the number 89, who seemed to be struggling a little bit out there as well. Rowrah is a very physical circuit and it can punish you. But of course, in this class, there's 2 more races to come and head your way tomorrow. Coming up next, the FAB-Racing Rookies Cup. The start of these young riders' careers, and they're getting ready for their race ones. Of course, FAB-Racing, the place to be if you want to start a career in bike racing. So many big names have come through this category, getting their first start. The likes of Eddie O'Shea, Sullivan Mounsey and Lucas Brown and Red Bull rookies up in Moto 3. Scott Ogden and making his Grand Prix debut this weekend as well. Casey O'Gorman. So many names have been and won here, and even though it is the first step onto bikes, it is really great to see what they're going to be able to do out there, and it is great to see these young riders giving it a go. Some of them have only been on bikes for a handful of months. Some of them have been on since they could walk. So as we're waiting for them to come down to the grid, it's setting up to be a fascinating display here as the rookies make their way down. A huge grid, 16 bikes out here. Should be a fascinating affair. Making their way through now. A lovely day here in the Lake District, it must be said. We've had a lot of rain over the last couple of years here in Rowrah, so it's great to see the sun peeking out and blessing us with some fantastic action as we're just waiting for the last few riders to make their way through. There we see, looks like the number 57 Van Morris coming in and making their way through. So all the riders coming into place there. And I'm sure this is set to be a fantastic affair. A few checks there. That's Jensen Brown on pole position. Roving Marshals just having a quick look at what's going on But I'm sure we are get ready to go on our sighting lap in just a short moment, and we will do now. So let's run through the grid of 16 bikes. It is Jensen Brown that starts on pole position. Zach Atherstich alongside Van Morris. He starts P3 with Logan Paisley P4. Casey Reeson and Oakley Hipwell make up the third row, with Oliver Cheeseman 7th and William Skingle in P8. Reggie Watson and Caden Bailey round out the top 10, with Keely Bailey in 11th and Chase Carter in P12. Theo Tyler is 13th alongside Savannah Polden, and it's Izzy Cook and Oscar Bond rounding out our grid. Should be a very exciting race coming into this. Again, we see, Alex, that really interesting dynamic of there's riders with a bit more experience and confidence on the bikes, there's riders with a bit less experience and confidence, but either way, even though this is more about just gaining track time and experience and learning how to ride a bike on a racetrack, they still want to go out there, they still want to win.
Absolutely. This, obviously, as we said, the AC40 rookie class. Now, as we just had the AC40 pros, they run a 14mm restrictor on the exhaust. This, because it is the rookies, is the least powerful series of them all of the AC40s. So they run a 10mm restrictor on the exhaust. So it is a little bit slower, not by too much, but it's a little bit slower than the AC40 Pro. So as we see, the 171 of Jensen Brown and the 76 of Zach Atherstich taking that front row of the grid. Pole position on the left-hand side. And then we can see 57 of Van Morris in P3, just behind in the second row of the grid. And Logan Paisley, the 25, on the right-hand side. So waiting for the final few riders, as we can see Lee getting ready with the flag to point to the lights, and then we can get underway. So, as we have final few riders on the grid, as all the volunteers and the parents step out of the way, we're going to get a point to the lights any second. And I think, I think we're, there we go. Yep, there we go. So, going to the lights for the first time for the AC40 rookies. A big jump start there from the 57. And let's have a look. It's Jensen Brown, I think, who will get the lead, or is it? They go side by side with Zach Atherstich into the first corner. No, that'll be Jensen Brown, followed by Zach Atherstich. And that was Van Morris, who I think might get a penalty there. That was a big jump start from him off the lines. We see all the riders getting through the first couple of turns. Nice and cleanly. Oh, a big moment there. I think that might have been Van Morris once again having a big moment as we took home into the tight right-hander of Iredale's now. All of the riders coming through nice and steady, and we can see that is that Van Morris? That is Van Morris trying to go on the outside of Zach Atherstich and makes the move. A fantastic move around the outside there. A fantastic move, but we'll keep you posted about that jump start as soon as we know anything. You'll know as well, but I say that, but he's coming right back up. Right back at him. Logan Paisley and Van Morris fighting for this second place.
Van Morris, of course, exploding into FAB-Racing last time at Clay Pigeon. 2 race wins, one on his birthday on the Sunday as well, and just fantastic performances all throughout that weekend. The younger brother of Bo Morris looking to follow in his siblings' footsteps. Runs a bit deep into the opening chicane, though. That will give the 76 of Zach Atherstich a bit of breathing room, but it's still Jensen Brown, the 171, that holds that lead at the end of the opening lap of the race. Casey Reeson up from 5th into P4 on the opening tour as well, so good start for the 95 as they make their way into Iredale's once again. Can't quite see it from this angle, but a little bit off camber this corner. Very easy for a Minimoto to drop it through there. Seen it a couple times already across the weekend in the practice sessions. You just go in a bit too much lean angle, the front end drops, but luckily most riders have been straight back up and onto the bikes and getting going once again, as if that looks like potentially the leaders already starting to encounter a little bit of traffic. It's not a particularly long lap round here at Rowrah, and we're looking at about 1 minute 6, 1 minute 7 lap times from most of the riders here in the Rookies Cup. As then we see the 35, that's Oliver Cheeseman, currently P6, took his first race win in race 3 at round 4 in Clay Pigeon last time out, only a couple of weeks ago, and looking to continue that form, looking to try and build on that and build into the back end of the season. Of course, round 5 of 7, really getting into the business end of things now. 6 laps left to go. It's Brown from Atherstich, from Van Morris, your top 3.
Atherstich and Morris having a great little battle on that last lap there. Zach Atherstich setting the fastest lap of the race, a 1:03. 1:09.769, a blistering lap time there for Zach Athasic. But we have a massive disparity of lap times so far. Obviously 1:03 is the and we're just having a look at the leaders here. I think actually this is Zach Athasic and Jensen Brown going wheel to wheel so far. Fantastic. Let's see what these two riders can do. As I said, a big disparity in lap times. We've got anywhere from 1:15s to 1:03s. So back marker traffic in this will be a very, very high chance. And obviously we've seen many times before in Fab Racing, and many, many times we've seen close racing like this, and it's just not going to work out for Zach Athasic, who is on the right hand side of your screen, the blue and orange bike and the white helmet of Jensen Brown. I say that, he's got a very good exit out of there, and going into turn 4 now, it's this left hand, is he going to go? Oh, and there's a big crash there. That is contact between Zach Athasic and Jensen Brown. I think there'll be a penalty potentially coming Zach Athasic's way, maybe, as he just sort of booted him out of the way there, just took a little bit too much throttle, and that is going to drop Jensen Brown down the order, which means Zach Athasic leads this race from Van Morris and putting Logan Paisley on the podium. What drama already, Ross?
Crazy stuff. Great to see Jensen Brown straight back up and on the bike. I'm not sure it might be a penalty myself, Alex. I think more of a racing incident to me, but opinions aside, it is now, for the time being, Zach Athasic who leads this race. Morris up to P2. Logan Paisley, the 25, from 4th on the grid, now in P3 as a result. So we'll have to wait to see when they cross the line to make it 4 to go, where Jensen Brown will rejoin this race. But the front two now have a pretty big lead back further to Logan Paisley. Of course, that will have slowed Athasic down as well, maybe knocked his confidence just a little bit. Of course, getting into contact, getting into an incident like that, you naturally back off. You get a bit scared. Your body just doesn't want to do it, especially for these young riders. Maybe some of them haven't quite able to fully get over the fear factor that naturally comes with racing just yet. With moments like that, we'll wait to see if that's going to affect the race leader's new pace. Moves further back in the pack. Jensen Brown down to P7 after that incident, so he's now chasing Oliver Cheeseman, and he's actually at the back of this pack at the moment. A little bit of an advantage as it stands. Cheeseman trying to make his way through Hipwell and Reeson. This is 4th, 5th and 6th that we currently see. Reeson leading this little train. That is Cheeseman looking to the inside. Contact! Down goes Oakley Hipwell. And that's a big one. More contact coming through into the stewardesses. And down is the 174. The waved yellows will be in that area, but will push on regardless. 4 laps left to go. And there is more drama here in the opening race of the Fab Racing Rookies Cup. Contact galore. And multiple riders getting their heads onto the floor. 3 to go though. Athasic still leads from Morris from Paisley. That will promote Oliver Cheeseman up into P5. Oakley Hipwell will wait to see if they are able to remount and rejoin this race. There are your race leaders though, and still, Alex, is the 76 of Zach Athasic that lead, but Van Morris right on his tail.
Absolutely. There we go. We can see the 74 there, the 174 of Oakley Hipwell is up and well and sat on the barriers, so that's very good to see, very good to see. I mean, this is only race 1 of the AC40 Rookies this weekend, so imagine what race 2 and race 3 is going to be like. It's absolutely crazy stuff as we are seeing now these riders coming through, Zach Athasic and Van Morris, and I think that's one of the back markers there potentially. Yeah, there we go. But I tell you what, he's trying to unlap him. So that's Van Morris through. Van Morris through on that particular occasion, coming into the final corner there. So as I said earlier, the back markers can make or break a race, as we see Zach Athasic in first place, I think that is, and 2 laps to go in this race. But look at this, wheel to wheel once again. 57 Van Morris is in the lead, Zach Athasic in second, going wheel to wheel here. Which one of these riders is going to come out on top? So much drama in this race, some great racing as well. We've had a right mix up of the grid order, which is going to be interesting coming into race 2 and race 3. But right now, let's focus on this race. 2 laps to go. The 57 of Van Morris is currently leading from Zach Athasic, coming around. I think that's turn 5 there. The Stuart S is now into this left-hander, coming in to St John's, into the 90-degree right, downhill, 90-degree left as well. Let's have a look. Van Morris still leads from Zach Athasic, trying to maybe get a little bit of a slipstream coming onto the straights, but there aren't that many long straights here. You're only sort of coming out of turn 4 and turn 5. A penalty, I'm hearing, it will be a Van Morris penalty. 3 seconds 3-second penalty for a couple of riders there. So not just Van Morris, but it will be, and there we go. We can see them going side by side, and Zach Apisic goes through there. A great move there on the outside. Fantastic to see there. So this will not be for position, although it'll probably just be more for fun with these riders. But Zach Apisic sending, and there we go. Van Morris, we can see again, goes on the outside. Zach Apisic tries to make it up on the inside, but a big move across there. Defensive move, number 57 of Van Morris. But as we say, they're just sort of racing for fun at this point, because Morris and one other rider does have a jump start penalty. A big one there for Zach Apisic. Where is this going to leave them? Let's have a look. They are really, really close. Coming through St. John's now, 90 degree right, 90 degree left on this last lap of this race. It will be Zach Apisic that wins, but which one of these riders is going to get this bragging rights for finishing first on track? Let's have a look. It's going to be Van Morris crosses the line first, but it will be Zach Apisic that wins this race after the 3-second penalty for Van Morris for that jump start as well. And it looks like Logan Paisley is going to get a podium as well, as we just wait for the final riders to cross the line.
Morris wins on the road then, but Zach Apisic taking advantage of that penalty to take race number 1, even although they fought all the way to the end of the race. Paisley is the rider that rounds out the podium places here, but lots of drama early doors here in the AC40 Rookies. The FAB-Racing Rookies Cup exploding in round number 5, as we've got 2 pretty contentious incidents and then a couple of jump start penalties that put the rider who won on the road down into second place. As the rest of the riders make their way across the line, I believe it may have been Caden Bailey, the other rider, who got a jump start penalty, but it is Zach Apisic second on the road, but with that penalty applied, taking the race win. Van Morris will wind up second after that jump start, with Logan Paisley rounding out the podium places. Casey Rees in a fantastic result in P4, with Oliver Cheeseman 5th, William Skingle 6th, Jensen Brown in 7th, Reggie Watson P8, Savannah Polden 9th, and Theo Tyler rounding out our top 10. Caden Bailey was 11th with Chase Carter P12, Keely Bailey 13th with Izzy Cook 14th, Oscar Bond in P15, and Oakley Hitpole unfortunately our sole DNF after that incident with Cheeseman earlier on. Plenty of racing incidents, plenty of things for the stewards to maybe look at going forward. But as you said, Alex, if that's race number 1, what are we going to see in race 2 and 3 later? Unbelievable.
Absolutely sensational racing there, and filled with drama. A brilliant job so far. And the next race will be the AC40 Inters. So, coming on to the grid now will be the AC40 Inter Championship, our final AC40 race of the day. Obviously, we had the pros, we had the rookies, and now it's the AC40 Inters with the 12mm restrictor. Britson Electrical Services sponsors this series, the AC40 Inters. So, thank you very much to Britson for that. Now, a little bit off colour, Nelly Newth will start P7 in this race, the last. So she had a little bit of an off weekend, but we know all of you listening and watching absolutely love Nelly here. So please send her all your support, and send all the riders all of your support as well. Let us know on social media. We are on now TikTok as well. So if you're watching us on TikTok as well, please let us know where you are, where you're listening from, and what riders you are supporting. So viewers all over the world supporting Nelly as well. It's anywhere from America, anywhere from the Philippines, and everywhere. We read all your comments wherever you are. Please leave a comment. It lets us know where you are and lets us talk to you as well, which is fantastic. So just seeing a couple of the marshals going out on track, a couple of the riders just making conversation with one another. We can see the podium in the background for the AC40 rookies. So as we're seeing we are seeing a new hot lap, it seems, here in this go-kart. Trying to set a fast lap there. And it's certainly I think he's going the wrong way, actually, up the track. Yes, he is. That's not going to get you many points. But this is the top dog of the Rowrah Racing Circuit as well. He's the big cheese, as it were, but he is weirdly going the wrong way. But never mind. It's a good job there's no bikes on track anyway. But as we say, there are 3 AC40 classes. We had the first race today, which was the AC40 Pros, as a 14mm restrictor on the exhaust. The AC40 Inters, which is this race coming up, that has a 12mm restrictor on the exhaust. And then what we've just seen, the AC LC40 rookies with a 10mm restrictor as well. 3 very different but very similar championships. Always fantastic racing. If we have anything like we just had in the previous race, it's going to be a very, very exciting race. 7 riders are here and getting ready to go onto the grid. I think we're just hearing there's going to be a little bit of a delay before we start this race, but that's absolutely fine. It gives me and Ross a chance to chat to you all.
Absolutely, yeah. Just a small delay. I believe the medics have just gone over to check on Oakley Hipwell after that incident in the previous race. So, of course, we'll let you know that he's okay as soon as we're aware. But, of course, sending our best, and hopefully this delay won't be too long and we can get back racing as quickly as possible. But, yeah, as you said, if you're just joining us, hello and welcome. As there we do see Oakley up on his feet. Fantastic to see. So won't be too long, but great to see Oakley Hipwell making his way over to the medical buggy. He'll be escorted back to the medics. They'll give him a quick once over and then make sure that he's ready to go racing for the other 2 races tomorrow. But yeah, if you are just joining us, hello and welcome to the 5th round of the 2025 Mastermac FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. If you're watching along on the official FAB-Racing YouTube channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of the above to help get these young riders' names out there, help promote the best of British grassroots bike racing. And of course, if you're watching along for the first time on the Motorsport Radio TikTok account, hello and welcome to this new format of streaming for us, and I hope you are enjoying the fun. So Oakley Hipwell will make his way back through. But before we do get started in this race, Alex, yeah, you mentioned Nelly Knuth starting P7 and last on the grid, a little bit off pace, which is very, very bizarre for her. Rowrah is not a circuit she struggles at either. Last year took 5 wins out of 6 here. It was a double round, so 6 races in one weekend. Took 5 of those 6 race wins there, and that arguably is what edged her over to the title in the FAB-Racing Rookies Cup in 2024, but she struggled a little bit last round at Clay Pigeon. Race 3 and 2 not going her way after race 1 taking the victory there. Race 2 there, believe there was a mechanical problem, and then race 3 just looked like the confidence was drained from that young lass. And then, yeah, qualifying a little bit off the pace, maybe sandbagging, maybe more issues. Finley Styles in the number 19 even, he starts from pole position. Of course, he started from pole last time as well, but was also disqualified from the first qualifying session last time at Clay Pigeon for failing a post-quali tech inspection. So, you know, not insinuating anything, but again, they've managed to go back, make sure the bike's all legal, and he's still that fast. So Styles in the last couple rounds has really, really come along a long way as a rider. We know he's been going to visit Ian Harris and the Sarah Harris Racing School recently as well, and getting a bit of assistance from them, both with his racing and with the engineering, the mechanics of these mini motor machines, and that clearly has helped that number 19 camp.
Absolutely. It's also worth mentioning as well, Nelly Knuth and Finley Styles as well are both equal on points in the championship, and Finley Styles obviously taking pole position, and Nelly Knuth is P7 and last in this race, so not good for her title hopes at the minute. But if we've seen anything of Nelly Knuth, she is an incredibly talented rider and will make places up. So for any of the supporters, and it looks like she won't even start this race. Oh wow, this is sensational. This is incredible. Obviously not for Nelly Knuth herself, but my word, what drama. Obviously, both coming into this race as both equal on the championship. She has won she's at least taken 1 winner every round this year, and only had 3 races off the podium. And if they can't get this started, well, let's see what's going to happen to her, but hopefully she does start. So Finley Styles, the joint championship leader, will start pole position, the number 19, alongside Austin Dilks in second on the 85. Noah Barthorpe starts P3 on the 36, alongside the 69 of Randy Carter in P4. The 119 of Daisy Grayson starts P5. Seth James on the 13 starts P6, and potentially, if she starts, it will be Nelly Knuth on the back row of the grid, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good, Ross. I don't think that bike is going to be able to get started before these riders finish their formation lap and go on to the grid. Look, they're coming round the final corner now, and Nelly Knuth's bike is still on the side of the track. What's going on? What's going on?
More technical gremlins then for the 44. Are they going to stick the bike back on the grid? Yes, but no sighting lap, so cold tyres, cold brakes. We'll see what's going to happen. Trying to get the engine started again. She potentially had technical issues at Clay Pigeon. So I wonder if she's getting plagued by the classic Minimoto technical failings, which sometimes does just come into existence. We know in this sport, sometimes the machinery underneath you just doesn't work. It just starts having problem after problem and you can't get it fixed. Maybe Nelly Knuth is struggling with a little bit of that. They're still trying to fix it. There'll be a delay at the front as we're waiting to see what's happening. Nelly looks absolutely distraught at the back there, and you've got to feel for that young girl if she's not able to start this race here. Her championship rival from pole position as well. Oh my goodness me, this is not what you want to see at the start of the weekend in the Brits Electrical Services AC40 Inters. We're still waiting to see if they're going to be sent round or if Nelly Knuth is going to have to DNS from this race, as we're still waiting to see what is going to happen. There's been a conversation between the flag marshal and Knuth's dad, chief mechanic, but I think she is going to be starting the race. Looks like she's going to give it a go anyway. Styles from pole, Knuth from P7. It is red lights on. Red lights go out. We are underway. Strong start there from Styles, and Knuth goes nowhere. Nelly Knuth from the back of the grid has not left that 7th grid spot, and she does get going now, but a long way down the order. Styles leads out of the opening chicane. Dilks in P2. Looks like Noah Barfoot holding on to that 3rd place as well as they make their way into McRae's for the first time, running very deep into the exit of the corner. Was the 36 of Barfoot in P3, making their way back up the hill to Iredell's once again, as there we can see P6 there, that looks to be Seth James, and then a big gap back to Nelly Knuth, but up the front and he's still pole sitter. Finley Styles, he's not got a commanding lead after the first half lap, but he is going onwards. Knuth is making her way around slowly. Visor is up, so I wonder if maybe she's thinking about coming straight back into the pits with an issue. We'll have to wait and see, but as we draw to the end of the first lap, it is Styles from Dilks, from Barfoot, your top 3, and Styles looking to try and take control of this race early on.
Yeah, quite a lot of smoke coming out the back of Nelly Knuth's bike as well, so I don't know if that is part of her technical gremlins, but let's see what she can do in this race. Noah Barfoot leads from Randy Carter in 2nd place. Daisy Grayson up into 3rd place, the 119 there, as we now see Nelly Knuth trying everything she can do, pushing that bike as quick as she can. As we've seen many times in Fab Racing, she is the queen of comeback rides. So let's see if she can have another one here and close the gap to Finley Styles. Not too sure what's happened to Finley Styles as well, the things, but yeah, there is the number 19, it seems, at the front of our grid, followed by the 36 as well. So these riders going wheel to wheel so far, trying to find different lines to 1st place ahead. Finley Styles leads from, I think that's Randy Carter in 2nd, on Noah Barfoot as well, just behind. Let's have a look, coming through the final corner, can't find a gap there, as we now see, there we go, Finley Styles on our timing screen is now at the top. There we go, everything's been sorted out there. Finley Styles leads this race from Austin Dilks in 2nd, Noah Barfoot in P3 as well. Finley Styles doing everything he needs to have a big championship lead on Nelly Knuth so far. But now we're having a look at Austin Dilks as we still see Nelly Knuth. I mean, she is gaining time. Can she do the incredible? As we said, she is the queen of combat rides. If anyone can do it, it's her. So Finley Styles now under big pressure from Austin Dilks, just behind, through the right-hander there, going through these Stuart S's. Now a little bit of a straight up to St. John's. Now this left-hander, now a straight to St. John's is 90-degree right and 90-degree left-hander, but not close enough on this occasion.
We know that Noah Barfoot is certainly a quick rider. Took race number 2 at Clay Pigeon the previous round a couple of weeks ago, and he's putting all of the pressure on that number 19 race leader. Finley Styles makes it 6 to go as they cross the line. But can he stay there? Can Barfoot find a way through? Or is Styles imperious in his defensive efforts? Barfoot a little bit too far back and running deep out of the chicane. Gets a little bit on the curb. That will cost him some momentum, but doesn't look to have hurt him too badly. Meanwhile, Noah Barfoot, the 36 in P3, was slightly quicker on that last lap. He's still dropping back about 2.5 seconds away from these leading pair as they make their way down the back straight and in to at the bottom end. Nelly Knuth is currently lapping 6 seconds slower than Finley Styles, so she is losing massive amounts of time. If there is probably an issue there for the number 44 down the back of the pack, but the race that we're currently focusing on is the 19 of Finley Styles, the 85 of Austin Dilks in this battle for the race lead. Looks like Styles has extended that gap ever so slightly over the course of this tour, rounding the final corner to make it 5 to go. Let's have a look at the split It's the fastest lap of the race from Finley Styles. Dilks only a tenth slower, but they're lapping very, very close and still within touching distance. If there's a mistake anywhere from Styles, Dilks is going to be right there to slide on by.
Absolutely. Finley Styles now trying to just go defensive. He's putting his bike in incredible positions and exactly where he needs to, going around these corners, coming through the right-hander of Iredale's now. But as I said, putting his bike exactly where he needs to. Austin Dilks trying to get a little bit of a slipstream. Obviously, you're not going to get too much of a slipstream on these little bikes, but still, any advantage helps. And going back to Nelly Newth, it looks like she's about 37 seconds behind Finley Styles and her championship rival so far. So that bike obviously definitely has a problem. A 103 last time compared to a 58 second. But listen, tomorrow is another day. Let's hope that they can find out whatever technical gremlins are haunting that bike and she can come back much, much stronger. So over the line even, I should say. 4 laps to go in this race. It's Styles that leads from Dilks and Barfoot in third. Barfoot dropping back by about sort of 4 seconds to this pack. There we go. You can see me, he's just having a bit of a lonely race there. It's more like a test session for him at the minute. Finley Styles obviously leading from Austin Dilks, but Austin Dilks doing a faster lap on that occasion, but it's not by much. 4 thousandths of a second split. Finley Styles and Austin Dilks on that last lap. Noah Barfoot there with the white helmet and the bright yellow, fluorescent yellow bike and overalls as well, just taking it nice and steady and trying to push on to catch Dilks and Finley Styles. 4.2 seconds the gap between him and Austin Dilks in second, but so far on the podium having a really good race so far. But let's have a look where Finley Styles and Austin Dilks are. Let's see if Dilks has made any sort of gain on Finley Styles, but Finley Styles, as we said, put his bike exactly where he needs to. Coming out of the final corner, this is the number 13 Seth James, and I think the 119 just ahead of Daisy Grayson coming round the final corner, the closest battle on track so far as we see. Oh, it's very, very close going into the first corner between Seth James and Daisy Grayson. Seth James, the blue bike behind, Daisy, the white and pink bike just ahead, checking over her shoulder to see where Seth James is. It's the 13, going to be lucky for Seth James in this race. Let's have a look. Oh, gets a much tighter exit out of there, manages to carry a bit more speed, but Daisy Grayson just has a little bit more legs coming out of that corner through the right-hander now. Is Seth James going to be able to get a bit of a slipstream to go left and right? Let's have a look. They might go side by side, but I think the 119 of Daisy Grayson is just a little bit too far ahead on this occasion. 3 laps to go in this race.
Yeah, still really tight up the top and tight in this battle as well. James putting all of the pressure on Grayson, and as you said, Alex, we're seeing her just checking back, seeing where her rival is, seeing how she can try to keep that 13 machine behind as they're about to head on to the penultimate lap of the race. There are our race leaders. Styles still on top at the moment. Dilks very, very close behind though, the 85. The younger brother of FAB-Racing royalty, Wilson Dilks, who is here this weekend. He'll be out a bit later in the Extreme 200s race, making their way down the backstretch out of Ardales. And I think, as it stands, Styles has just opened up enough of a gap to keep himself safe. He's got that breathing room now.
Absolutely. Doing everything that he needs to win this race and extend his championship lead. Remember, it's 25 points for a win here, and then 20 points, and then down to 15 as well. So far, it's not looking good for Nelly Newth in this race so far. She's still lapping in the 1 minute and 4s. It just crosses the line now. The gap to Finley Styles is 54 seconds. That's almost a lap. This is really unlike Nelly. Must be something Must be something wrong with that bike there, but as so is the case with racing a lot of the time. Racing is unpredictable. We don't know what racing's going to throw, whether it's any technical gremlins or whether it's just bad luck. But let's hope tomorrow she can get a bit better luck. Now, Dilks, does seem to have closed the gap a little bit, but that there is Nelly Newth on the right-hand side of your screen. These are the two leaders. Finley Styles, her main championship rival, on the last lap. Now look at that bike. There's just no confidence there and no problems, and it looks like Finley Styles is going to lap Nelly Newth. My word, this is very, very unlike this rare scenes that we see here at FAB-Racing. Coming around the final corner now, and it will be Finley Styles that'll put a hefty chunk of points on Nelly Newth there. Round the final corner, Finley Styles wins the race from Austin Dilks in second, and Nelly Newth crosses the line 1 lap down just unreal scenes, but not necessarily in the term we would usually use unreal. Noah Barthball on the 36 finishes P3 and rounds out the podium. Randy Carter on the 69 finishes P4, and coming round is this little battle here, but who's going to cross the line first on the side-by-side? And it's Daisy Grayson that just holds on from Seth James there in P6. Again, another race here. Another race filled with drama and unpredictability. I'll tell you what, I really do like this track, Ross.
It is a brilliant track, but my oh my, that could be a season-defining statement. Finlay Styles takes the win, laps Nelly Nuth, and for the first time in 2025, the number 19 takes the championship lead here in race 1 of the Brits and Electrical Services AC 40 Interclass. It is Styles from Diltram, Barfoot, your podium finishes, Carter, Grayson, James, and Nelly Nuth rounding out the field. Race 2 and race 3 heading your way across Sunday. But man, oh man, lots of things to think about for both Styles and Nuth, the two championship rivals with opposing luck here this weekend. It is time for the senior mini motos, and although Josh Birkin isn't joining us this time, it is still Matt Birkin, who else, who starts from pole position, the reigning champ with the number 1 plate, I believe still on the bike after he swapped that over mainly to annoy his brother, but it should be an interesting race with 13 riders out there this weekend and making their way down to the grid. Now I will just say, I put a picture up on my Instagram story of some action on track yesterday. It just so happened to have Matt Birkin in it, and I had a message from Josh almost immediately saying, yeah, but I just want to remind you that he is the second best Birkin out there. So Josh, I know he's here this weekend, even though he isn't racing. Let's see if you're going to get proved right or proved wrong. The 13 riders making their way onto the grid. This round last year, of course, a double round, should I say, at Rowrah, dominated by a man who is not here. David Myatt went on an absolute tear in the senior mini motos, took 5 wins out of 6, and that was a statement performance and gave him the vice championship as well. It's Matt Birkin that starts from pole position, Keaton Payne second, Reece Gentry's third, with Holly Harris a fantastic 4th place for the junior super team rider. George Rennicks is 5th with Chris Yeomans alongside. 4th row is the other Birkin boy, Callum White, he's P7, Harvey Jeremy is P8. Lamar Morgan, great to see him back once again here this weekend, he's 9th, and Gary Eldridge rounds out the top 10. Rock Gentry starts 11th with Steve Johns on the 77 in 12th, and Jerome Richards rounds out our 13 bike grid here in this one. So it should be a really interesting race this. Matt Birkin once again on pole position, but Keaton Payne looks fast. Holly Harris with a great P4 for her. She'll be looking to try and maybe slide her way onto the podium. Some of the bigger names perhaps in this class not here this weekend. There's still a big grid, and of course it's the senior mini motos. There's going to be drama, there's going to be chaos.
My word, I mean, I tell you, if we've seen some drama already today, I can only imagine what this series is going to bring it today. So it's going to be a fantastic race so far. Senior mini motors making their way to the grid. 13 bikes as we see. That's Keaton Payne and Holly Harris just behind him on the right hand side of your screen. As we see Matt Birkin in the iconic blue and red suit making his way just where that pole is, annoyingly, into pole position. Some could say that is pole position. Bum bum. So Matt Birkin on the left hand side in first place, and Keaton Payne second as well. So onto the lights. Who's going to get the best start? Who's going to win? It looks like Keaton Payne actually got a very good start. Yes, he does. He goes into the lead. Matt Birkin's had a terrible start, and I think that's either Holly Harris or Reece Gentry that had a great start as well. But Matt Birkin absolutely furious with that start, trying to get on the back of that 100, that Reece Gentry bike as well. Holly Harris stays in P4 as well. Side by side, Matt Birkin trying to pancake himself behind the 100, trying to get a bit of a slipstream, takes a lot of speed into that corner. Everyone seems to get through Iredale's nice and smoothly on this first lap. But look at that already. Keaton Payne having a great start, and Holly Harris is actually coming up behind Matt Birkin. So far, this is a great race for Holly Harris, and not so good for Matt Birkin. Coming round St. John's now. Matt Birkin on the back of Reece Gentry. Coming through there, side by side almost, coming into the final corner. Can he maybe go wider and maybe cut in into turn 1? And wow, that has gone a lot more speed than the number 100, but it's not enough on this occasion. Coming through through turn 1 now. Reece Gentry leads. Holly Harris is staying in second. Keaton Payne. Time is going a bit crazy for us. That's okay, we've got the cameras. So it will be Keaton Payne in first. Reece Gentry second. Matt Birkin in third. But look at this. Holly Harris on the back of Matt Birkin as well. She's been chased by Chris Yeomans on the 85 black and white bike just to the left-hand side. Holly Harris looks like she's going to try and make a move on Matt Birkin. I don't know what's happened to the number 1 or number 5 bike, whichever. Holly Harris down the inside, side by side. Oh my word, on the inside of Matt Birkin. It hasn't worked on this occasion, but fair play to her. That was absolutely sensational. I thought she was going to go to 1, 2, 2 positions there.
Harris got great pace down the straights. Just can't quite keep up with Birkin in the corner, so she's going to be relying as Birkin's gone up the inside, sent it well wide coming through Sunny Bend, but somehow still holds on to that position. So Matt Birkin does slide into P2 with a very liberal take on track limits to boot. I think barging his way through is a more complimentary term to that move, but he does get through Reece Gentry and recovers up to second after that disappointing start, going through McRae's and back onto the straights once again. Keep your eye on Holly Harris. She's really quick, gets that traction down so well. Coming out of the next right-hander, Iredale's hairpin, as there we see Chris Yeomans, who's having a quietly strong race just behind as well, and George Rennick's also not far away. Holly Harris looking to the inside on Reece Gentry, maybe? No, too far back on this occasion. The 100 will hold position and hold that podium place. Birkin already starting to pull away, but Keaton Payne, fastest lap last time, a 57 dead, and a 2.8 second lead from Matt Birkin with 7, soon to be 6 laps left to go. So Birkin needs to either pull something special out of his locker, or we may not be winning this one here. We'll wait to see the lap times as they cross the line now. Birkin then puts in a 56.6 as Payne puts in a 56.8, so slightly quicker, but the gap still 2.5 seconds. Harris still all over the back of Reece Gentry. This one could be quite close for the race lead come the end of it.
Yeah, Matt Birkin has tried to, well, he's pulled the trigger and sent it now, so he is quite a bit up the road. So the battle is now between... there's Birkin! Matt Birkin is off the road! He's had some sort of mechanical issue. He was running P2, had pole position, dropped back down. I know, I think that's a retirement. That is a retirement. So that means that Keaton Payne leads from Reece Gentry in second now, and Holly Harris has moved away up to the podium. Can she get a P2? Absolutely disastrous race for Matt Birkin after having a sensational move on the inside of Reece Gentry there, but he will drop by at the fastest lap actually on the last lap, so we don't know what's happened with his bike, but all we know is that he has retired from this race. The multiple champion is now out of this race, but this is the battle that we are looking to see here. Reece Gentry followed by Holly Harris. I tell you what, she's sticking to him like I don't even know what, like some duct tape on the back of that number 100 bike. Through the left-hander now of McRae's, coming into Iredale's now, and to the right-hand side. Number 100 trying different lines, trying to throw Holly Harris off. Holly Harris sends it on the inside, takes a much tighter line. Is she going to be able to go side by side? I think she is. Is she going to have the momentum to go past Reece Gentry? No, not on this occasion, but she is showing that Reece Gentry sort of how to race it. It's fantastic to see, Ross.
Gentry holding firm, though, not worried about defending too hard. He's just sticking to his normal lines. I think he's confident that on pace alone he's got enough to stay in front of Holly Harris. Harris just doesn't have that little bit extra to try and slide through as they come around the final corner of Paddock Bend. 4 to go for these guys as they cross the line. Harris once again to the in-5, but that is opportune. Too far back on that occasion, as Chris Yeomans is a bit further back in P4, about 8 seconds away from the race leader, 2.5 back from Harris, who we currently see in P3. Bit deep there on corner exit from Gentry, but Harris slow out of McRae's. Keaton Payne has a 5.5 second lead now, and after Matt Birkin, who is the only rider who is ever so slightly quicker than him out there so far this weekend, it's looking like Payne is going to be in for a win here. Harris once again to the inside, once again not enough in it to commit to the move, and she'll stay right on the exhaust pipe of Reece Gentry. It's looking so close, but I just don't think as it stands she's got that little bit extra. She may be relying on the pressure getting to Reece Gentry and a mistake for the 100 to try and get through. As Holly Harris, of course, taking part, as all of our female riders, within the highest achieving female racer award brought to us by the House of Moto, the first Grassroots British Racing Award involving all female riders only. And of course, she's moved on from FAB-Racing proper. She's gone up to bigger and better things within the British Superbikes paddock, but she still turns up on the mini motor machines and still puts in a fantastic shift. She's currently P3, which would be her best result in a long old while in the senior mini motos if she stays there.
Absolutely trying everything that she can do to get past Rhys Gentry, now taking a tighter line, coming out, and she does go side by side on this occasion. It looks like she's going to be more speed, and she's ahead. She's ahead of Rhys Gentry. Can Rhys Gentry answer and maybe get a bit of a tighter line there? He was just slower out of Iredale's there. Fantastic move there for Holly Harris there, but Rhys Gentry right on the back of her now. The roles have swapped around as Rhys Gentry tries to send it on the inside, almost goes side by side, coming out of St. John's into the final corner. Now this is going to be a very, very interesting race as we have 2 laps to go. Holly Harris actually pulling a bit of a lead there and pulling away from Rhys Gentry just behind. A fantastic performance from her so far. Don't know whether Rhys Gentry just went a little bit wide there, maybe just had a little bit of a wobble, but that has put Holly Harris in second place, which, as Ross said, will be her highest result for a long time. And look at these two going wheel to wheel, side by side. This is 5th, 6th and 7th. Renix, Jeremy and White in P7. A fantastically close battle here, my word. Oh, and there's a rider up. Oh, that's the 100. That's Rhys Gentry. He was P3. My word, we've seen 2 retirements from 2 very, very good riders in this series, which will push Chris Yeomans, I believe, onto the podium so far. So Matt Birkin and Rhys Gentry both out of this race, Ross. What drama we've had today.
More mini-moto mechanical drama. The number 12 still leads as the number 1 and the number 100 conk out at the side of the road. There is your race leader, Keaton Payne. He's got 9.2 seconds back to Holly Harris. What a performance it's been from the number 12. Chris Yeomans will inherit that final podium place, but he's under a bit of pressure from George Renix behind on the 171. But with half a lap to go, Keaton Payne has not won in over a year in the senior mini motos in FAB-Racing, and all he needs to do is cruise on home now. Bit of traffic up ahead. That looks like it may be the number 99 of Gary Eldridge. Indeed it is, and it will be maybe a cautious entry. Nope, still going full throttle there into St. John's and Sunny Bend. But as he comes to Paddock Bend for the final time, for the first time since Three Sisters last year, Keaton Payne is going to take the checkered flag in the senior mini motos. He wins race number 1 here at Rowrah. And what a performance. Yes, there was bad luck for other riders, but Payne, pace alone, he has very much won that on merit. Holly Harris, a spectacular second place, her best result in the senior mini motos for a long, long time. Huge congratulations to her as Chris Yeomans slides onto the podium for the first time since the second round, or the first round of this season, should I say. So congrats to him as well. What a crazy race in the senior mini motos, mechanical dramas and fantastic performances from riders that you potentially wouldn't expect to see them from. It is Keaton Payne that takes victory, his first since Three Sisters in 2024, with Holly Harris in P2 and Chris Yeomans rounding out the podium places. George Renix is 4th with Harvey Jeremy in P5, Callum White 6th place with Lamar Morgan in 7th, Gary Eldridge 8th, Steve Johns 9th and Rob Gentry in P10. Jerome Richards was 11th, and unfortunately we lost both front runners, Matt Birkin and Rhys Gentry, to mechanical issues. That is big drama in that one. Again, Birkin and Gentry, 2 of our biggest names, our quickest riders here in the senior mini motos, falling befoul of mechanical trouble. And it's Keaton Payne, Holly Harris and Chris Yeomans picking up the rewards as a result. What a fantastic effort from those guys.
So the next race that we have is the Mini GP50R class, and this is a class that provides fantastic racing so far. We have, I believe this is our biggest grid this weekend, 20 riders on this tiny circuit. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, we yet to see a race today without drama, so I can only imagine what this race is about to bring us with 20 riders. Look at that, all the riders filtering out of the paddock and on to the track. So what is going to happen in this race? On honestly, pigs could fly, anything on this race. So this is the Metric Kit v the Avali chassis as well. So obviously two different types of bike chassis in this series, as we say, the Metric Kits and the Avalis as well. Both of them very competitive bikes, but who is going to be the most competitive in this session? Now, of course, it is going to be Super Seb on pole, our very own number 64 Sebastian Gazlowski, who has a fantastic track record at FAB-Racing. I mean, currently it looks like he's only not won 2 races this year and won every other race in this class. So absolutely sensational. So 20 riders on our grid so far, and as I said, Sebastian Gazlowski is in pole position. Number 64 Mason Fedrick in the number 5 starts P2. Frankie Watson starts P3 on number 14. 71 of Bradley Curtis starts 4th, and on the 3rd row of the grid we've got the number 8 of Tommy Keats and the 991 of Rex Oskin. Moving to row 4, Josh Perkins, number 30, starts P7. 96 of Caelan Ratcliffe starts P8. Emilio Pereira, the number 31, starts P9, and the number 22 of Jensen Ansel rounds out our top 10. In 11th, we have the number 17 of Riley Paisley, alongside Carter Spence, the 296 in 12th. Kai Hawkin, number 20 in hopefully could be lucky 13 for him today, alongside Bo Morris, the number 57 in 14th. The 141 of Max Johnson starts P15 with Daisy Polden on the 127 bike in P16. 85 Austin Dilks in P17. 51 of Daniel Townsend in P18, and the last row of the grid, 83 of Harry James in P19, with Claudia Dudman on the number 28 bike in 20th place. And in 21st as well, my mistake, we've got actually 21 bikes in this race. It's the 111 of Callum Maxwell in 21st as well. So incredible scenes, 21 bikes. Look at that on the screen. This is going to be filled with drama. Oh, Ross, we've already seen some drama today. With 21 bikes, what on earth's going to happen in this one?
I'll tell you something that could potentially happen this weekend is Sebastian Gazlowski, if everything goes his way, could walk away with the championship at the end of this round. Now, it is very, very unlikely. He has to win every race and basically hope that Bradley Curtis, Mason Fedrick, Frankie Watson and Rex Austin all don't score, essentially. But it is mathematically possible that he did it. He needs a 150-point gap back to second in the championship to take it this weekend. Again, it's pretty unlikely, but you never know with motorsport. Anything can happen. So we'll keep our eye on that one, but it also could come to naught at the end of this one if Bradley Curtis finishes second, essentially, or if Mason Fedrick and Frankie Watson finish up there as well. So he basically needs those guys not to score. We'll keep an eye on that, but it's sure to be chaos with 21 bikes out on the grid. It's all eyes to the red lights. We get underway. Strong launch there from Frankie Watson. From 3rd on the grid, Gazlowski does not get away well. It's Fedrick who leads into turn 1, sliding around the outside. Of course, it's odd that on the grid as Gazlowski looks to the inside and does retake that lead, but the up and under from Fedrick will surely get him back in there. It's odd that the grid, the P1 position is off the racing line, so you maybe don't get the better launch from pole position compared to P2 as they make their way through Iredales for the first time. That's someone running really deep there and forcing another rider to sit up as we go down towards the bottom end of this track. The big 180 before the Stuart S's for the first time, and it is still Fedrick that leads. Gazlowski holding on to second place. Frankie Watson very fast starting from 3rd. Good to have the 14 back with us this weekend once again, and we know how quick he is as well, so he could definitely be a factor going forward. Bradley Curtis holding on to that P4. Gazlowski looks to get the drive on the inside into the opening chicane. Not close enough on that occasion. At the end of lap number 1, it's Fedrick from Watson, from Curtis, your top 3, and Zed's top 3, all very, very close together. There we see Riley Paisley leading a bit of a train further down, as that is a beautiful block pass from Sebastian Gazlowski. Forces Fedrick wide, forces Fedrick to sit up, and he takes the lead. It's a little bit naughty, but nothing against the rules. This 64 up to the lead.
I say that, it looks like Fedrick's going to come back at him. It is very, very tight there. Coming into the Stuart S's, these two riders absolutely wheel to wheel, front wheel to back wheel. There's nothing separating these, and I say that, there's nothing separating Frankie Watson just behind them as well. On the number 14, he's got the fastest lap in this race so far. The top 3, Mason Fedrick, Gazlowski and Frankie Watson, but it will be Gazlowski that leads. Obviously took the position from from Frederick on that last lap. We have 8 laps to go in this race. So much can happen. So much already has happened. The 14 having a big wobble there on the back of Mason Frederick. And oh my word, there's 4 bikes in short. No one knows. That's the number 30. Oh, trying to go on the inside of the number 17. Josh Perkins on Riley Paisley there. Now we're back to the, I think, 4th, 5th and 6th here. Around here, P6 onwards, and I say that, look at this group of 4 bikes here. Absolutely brilliant. That's the number 30. Josh Perkins under attack from Jensen Ansell behind. And Caelan Ratcliffe just at the back of this 4. But Rex Austin, the 991, in the entire green, everything. Green wheels, green helmet, green bike, everything very recognisable there. And 4 places behind Caelan Ratcliffe, we're looking at now the number 96 going this way and that way. Oh, almost too wide. Round the final corner, my word. These riders are incredibly brave. The number 96 goes past Jensen Ansell. Number 22 drops back down to P9. A great battle so far between these riders. Number 30 now still trying to get past Riley Paisley here. Look at how close they are. Just a gaggle of green bikes. I can barely tell who's who.
Gazlowski, fastest lap of the race last time, 50.9, opens the gap up to over a second ahead of Fedric, but this battle rages on for P6 as it stands. Paisley holding on well. Caelan Ratcliffe also in the occasion, just following on from Josh Perkins. Ansell dropping out massively. He must have made a mistake somewhere. He's now fighting with Tommy Keats for P9 as it stands. So problems there for the 22, whatever they may be. Hopefully he gets over them quickly. 6 to go for these riders as they come across the line. And look at it, it's like a Moto3 race out there. As here we see the battle for second place now. Watson is on at the end of the number 5 of Fedric. On an Avali machine, both of these riders on the 4 strokes. Of course, the Mini GP50 R-Class open to upgraded Metric Kit Mini GP50 machines with a bigger 28mm carb on them. Or you can go on your Avali 140 or 160s. That's Riley Paisley. No, it's the number 30 of Josh Perkins, who's come to a halt down at McRae's. He looks like he's trying to rejoin the race. But as I was saying, if you are at home and you've got an Avali 140 or 160 and you fancy giving it a go against some of the best in FAB Racing, head on over to the FAB Racing website, find out how you can get involved. But it's 5 laps left to go. Gazlowski, his lead up to 1.5 seconds now. Fedric still holding on from Watson, and Fedric on the last lap actually set the fastest lap of the race by about 4 thousandths of 50.792, and Watson a little bit slower. So the gap opening up slightly, but Watson very much still there. Fedric still under a little bit of pressure. I think what he's trying to do is just extend that gap, get that breathing room, and then he can focus forward, maybe trying to catch the 64.
Yeah, Fedric loving a very, very wide line out of McRae's as well, with the fastest lap as well, a 50.7. Only 2 riders in this race, and we have a yellow flag as well. That seems to be another rider in the background there. That was the number 22 right there, but it seems that they have got going again. But Fedric, as I was saying, loves a wide line out of McRae's, which is very interesting. There, but as we say, it's doing him a very good job so far as he is in P2 and just dropping away from the back of Gazlowski a little bit. And look at this side by side. Oh my word, going into the oh no, this is through the S's section here. And incredible, that's through the S's there. The number 17 and the 96, Riley Paisley and Caelan Ratcliffe. Absolutely rear wheel to, that is literally rear wheel to front wheel there, my word. So coming in to the right-hander, there's a little bit of a send, but Caelan Ratcliffe, no gap there. Number 17 managed to shut the door, but as I say, that Tommy Keats on the number 8 just behind, ready to capitalise on any mistake from these 2 riders. Look at how close they are. Coming through the Stuart S's now, a little bit of a straight now to St John's, 90-degree right, 90-degree left. It's a bit of a downhill section as well. The number 8 catching up both of these riders, the 96 alongside, almost touch. I think his thigh almost touched that the side of his bike there. Right, let's have a look. The 96 over the line. Riley Paisley, the gap is a 10th of a second between these 2 riders. The gap out from between Gazlowski and Fedric is now over 2 seconds, but only just over 2 seconds. Number 17 cuts back to the wider line. Coming through there, and look at that. The number 96 just gets a better run out of McRae's, but I say that, he's gone really deep on the switchback from the 17. Surely has got to work on this occasion. Riley Paisley trying to switch back, and I think he's just ahead. I say that they are side by side on the outside. The number 96 trying everything to stay on the outside, but that's actually compromised him from Tommy Keats behind. Tommy Keats right on the back of Caelan Ratcliffe, the number 96 bike, in the middle of all this, and my word, this is getting tasty between these three riders here. The 96 now tries to send it onto the inside, and there's a rider stop there. That is the 111. That was Callum Maxwell that has stopped at the side of the track. Not sure if there will be a yellow flag there, but this battle is still ongoing. The 96 and the 17. Has the 96 got by? No, the 96 is trying everything that they can on the inside of Riley Paisley, now side by side coming into Iredale's. Who is going to come out on top? It's the 96. Caelan Ratcliffe finally clears Riley Paisley, the number 17, but it's not done yet. Oh, and there's a big off. That's a big off. That's Frederick. That's P2 in this race. Oh my word, the number 5 is out potentially of this race if he can't get the bike started, but that has surely dropped him massively down the order, Ross. What drama again?
Oh, and heartbreak, frustration for Mason Frederick. Your heart goes out to him, but the implications in the championship are massive. On the final lap of the race, Mason Frederick goes down and out coming into Sunny Bend, the penultimate corner, and you can tell how devastated he is, pushing that Avila machine to the limit and beyond. But there is Kozlowski making his way now into what looks to be coming into St. John's. Yes, it is. The bike goes light over the crest and then compresses as you get on the brakes, goes past the stricken Frederick and into the final corner. There's a crash at the final corner as well. Two riders down. The 64 will take the checkered flag. There's late chaos in this Mini GP 50R race, but it's Sebastian Kozlowski that wins. Frankie Watson brings it home in second. Bradley Curtis now crosses the line to take P3, but there was a rider, potentially two, down there at the final corner. So it all got a bit too close for comfort there. Can't quite identify who that is, unfortunately, as they're just getting a talking to from the marshals and some of the members of the paddock, making sure they're okay. But they're up on their feet, which is good to see. But at the end of that chaotic race, it's Kozlowski. Who else would it be that takes the win by 2.5 seconds? Frankie Watson second, with Bradley Curtis rounding out the podium. Rex Austin in P4, with Caelan Ratcliffe 5th and Tommy Keats in P6. Riley Paisley was 7th, with Emilio Pereira a great result in P8. Carter Spinks in 9th and Callie Hawkin in P10. Bo Morris finishes 11th with Max Johnson in P12. Austin Dilks, P13. Daisy Polden 14th and Daniel Tanton in P15. Harry James in 16th. And then we've got our riders who are out there. We see Mason Frederick at the side. The helmet is off and he's okay. And of course the helmet off means you are allowed to talk to him when he gets back to the paddock. If the helmet stays on, that's the international language of don't speak to me. But he's our first DNF alongside Jensen Ansell, Callum Maxwell, Josh Perkins and Claudia Dubman, another DNS. Unfortunately for her, she's not been able to enter any races today for whatever reason. But the number 5 makes the long walk back to the paddock, speaking to family and friends. But man, that was a huge one for Mason Frederick. Great to see that he's up on his feet and okay, but a big one that dropped him out of P2 and potentially drops him out of the championship fight as well. Race 2 and 3 in the Mini GP 50R class coming your way on Sunday.
Absolutely brilliant drama here, and we have got another fantastic race so far as well. This is the Extreme 200, sponsored by Amphibian Scaffolding. Thank you very much to Amphibian Scaffolding for sponsoring this fantastic series that we have here. The Extreme 200 is our next race. You can see all of them lining up there to getting ready to come onto the grid and potentially I'd say potentially all the races we've had so far today, unreal drama, absolute chaos, and I've got a feeling with the Extreme 200 we're going to get it all over again, Ross. So we're just waiting for the final couple of riders. Wait until the track's clear. Obviously we've had a few incidents in the last race, so making sure that all the riders are safe, making sure that the track is safe, and we can see all of the riders going on to we can see all of the riders going onto the track now. So Harrison Day is currently the championship leader with 205 points. You can't miss him. He is the bright pink bike with a bright pink helmet and everything there. You can just see at the bottom left of your screen, the number 15 there starts on the right-hand side. And Taylor Tomlinson is currently second in the championship, but he isn't here this weekend. I hear him and his family are living it up in Greece, I think. I'm very jealous. So Travis Shaw as well in P3 in the championship. He is the number 4. So as they go on their formation lap, we will read you out the grid. But the ones to look for is the number 4. You can just see on the left-hand side, the multicoloured bike, and Harrison Day are the championship protagonists so far. So pole position is the number 85 of Wilson Dilks. Alongside him, number 15 of Harrison Day, the bright pink machine, as I said. Just behind him on the left-hand side, number 3. The number 4 in third place is Travis Shaw, alongside Logan Cousins on the number 7 bike. The 47 of Matthew Thomas, great performance from him. He starts P5 with Leo Solilu starting P6. On the 4th row of the grid, the number 54 of Harris Watson starts P7, and the 94 of Isabel Wingate starts P8. The number 11, Taylor Davis, starts P9, and the number 7 of Howard Taylor starts P10. Another great race ahead of us here. You can see the sun has actually gone in a little bit, but it still doesn't take away from the beautiful weather that we're having here this weekend up in Cumbria, up in the Lake District. It's lovely up here this weekend, and I can only imagine how warm it is for these riders as well when the sun is out. So we can see there the number 15 of Harrison Day there, Wilson Dilks, that's that blue and sort of fluoro yellow machine as well, giving fist bumps there, and whoa, coming in quite hot there on your left hand side, that's Travis Shaw. So the bike even most on the right hand side, and the bike to your furthermost left are our 2 championship protagonists. Which of these riders is going to get off of the grid the quickest? The red flag is waved, waiting for the red light to go out. Let's see who's going to win this race. The number 85 on pole, and it's going to be a fantastic start from Logan Cousins. Goes into P3 on the outside of Travis Shaw. Travis Shaw drops down to P4. Harrison Day in that pink machine, trying everything he can to catch Wilson Dilks. A great start from him, and another place lost there for Travis Shaw. I think he goes to P4. No, I think he remains in the same place. Wilson Dilks doing everything he can to get through Iredale's here, and listen to those engines roar. It's beautiful, beautiful sound there. All the riders getting through this first lap nice and cleanly, but if it's anything like the racing that we've seen today, Ross, we're going to get some drama.
Will do, certainly, but it's Wilson Dilks that leads, and well, if you're a betting man, you can probably place your 1-to-1 bet on him winning this race, because the 85, of course, the reigning Extreme 200 champion, the reigning Mini GP 70 champion. When you put a superb rider on a superb machine, that 85 bike is so strong. Well, he's just going to win everything he touches, isn't he? And every Extreme 200 race he's entered so far this year, he has also won. So I think that's pretty safe to say. Getting a message through from race control, apparently, potentially, as a possible jump start. So starts under investigation. We'll find out more about that hopefully shortly. Harrison Day really didn't get away well on the line at all. Just didn't get it nailed or couldn't find the bite point on the clutch. He does hold on to P2 though, as Dilks continues to extend his advantage. Logan Cousins holding on to that P3 at the moment. There's Matthew Thomas trying to fight his way through Travis Shaw as they make their way through the Stewart S's, and then getting light over the crest before the compression down into St John's, which looks like Thomas unable to find a way through at the moment. It's to the inside. There looks Logan Cousins, not to the inside of Harrison Day, who wasn't quite able to find it on that occasion, but really racy that 7 is feeling, and the 15 of Harrison Day looks a little bit off pace, bizarre to say for the championship leader, but holding on to that second place at the moment, but under real pressure. That's something we're not normally used to seeing for Day as they make their way up towards Iredale's hairpin once again. Thomas, anything in it for him? The 47, no. We'll have to stay behind the 4 for the time being as they make their way back down to the bottom end of the track. Dilks hasn't vanished into the distance like he normally does. There was a 1.5 second gap in the line last time, but again, he's already got a very healthy lead.
Absolutely, and this is the battle with Logan Cousins, who I think he was the one that had the jump start penalty potentially, because he's dropped down our time in order, but he is going to try everything he can to try and gain that back. There we go, the number 7 of Logan Cousins trying everything he can behind the 15 of Harrison Day. So we're just hearing now, decision officially from race control. Logan Cousins will have a 3-second jump start penalty for, well, obviously a jump start. So this battle that you're seeing on the screen now isn't actually for position so far. For now, it's just a bit of fun as Logan Cousins, officially on the timing screen, is currently P5, but is currently running P3 so far on the actual track. So Wilson Dilks is leading so far by 1.5 seconds. Now we have Harrison Day and Travis Shaw as well. Sorry, no, Harrison Day obviously on his own now, but this is the battle between Matthew Thomas and Travis Shaw here. Travis Shaw, that black and sort of Joker looking bike ahead of the Wales looking bike just behind as well, the number 47 there, newly sponsored by Next Helmets as well. Fantastic for him. So coming through this lovely section through here, this is the Stuart S's going through here. The number 47 on the inside is the number 4 going to be able to get the switchback? No, a great move there for Matthew Thomas, the number 47 Welsh bike there. Look, he's a very, very Welsh bike, isn't it? It's got the red dragon on the side, the green rims, and it's just got past the number 4 of Travis Shaw. Now, is he going to be able to make moves back ahead of Matthew Thomas?
Have to wait and see, but Thomas has been looking so fast this weekend. He's really in the groove here in Rowrah. Let's see if he continues to push forward. Not quite able to escape the clutches of the number 4 just yet. So Shaw maybe with an opportunity to try and get his way back past, get his way back into what is the fight for P3, of course, with that penalty for Logan Cousins. But Cousins is still running very, very quickly. And on track, yes, he's running P3 overall. On the timing screens, he's only 0.5 of a second behind Travis Shaw. The way that penalties work here in FAB-Racing, the 3-second jump start penalty, it gets added immediately. So on the live timing, that's why we see Logan Cousins, he'll be down at P5 out there on the track, even though he's P3 at the moment. So we'll have to wait to see if he's going to maybe be able to hold on to that 3rd place if that advantage is big enough. Here are some riders a bit further back in the pack. There are our race leaders. You can see Dilks just making his way through paddock bend now. There was 2 and 3 on the road in the form of Harrison Day and Logan Cousins, who may well be up to 3rd. No, he's still in 5th place by a couple of tenths on the timing screen. So Thomas still in P3. Of course, whether Cousins knows he has a penalty or not is up for debate. He may not know that. He may think he is still racing for position. If he doesn't know, he needs to get told by someone with a pit board so he can get a shift on and get that P3 back. Try and slide through Harrison Day is probably the ideal move, as there were some of our other riders there. And there we see Matthew Thomas has started to slightly extend his gap over Travis Shaw, so he's now a bit more comfortable, got that breathing room. That is the 54 of Harris Watson ahead of the 36 of Leo Soliu, making their way into Idles. Let's see if Soliu can maybe try and find a way through. Looks to be certainly putting the pressure on in this fight for P6, but right now not close enough to make a move.
You can see the suspension of that bike compressing there, coming into the Stuart S's. Now, is he going to be able to get by on this lap? Number 36 of Leo Solilu now comes through the left-hand side at St. John's. He's very, very close to Harris Watson ahead currently. The closest battle on track. The gap between Wilson Dilks and Harrison Day is now just over 2 seconds at the front of the field, with Matthew Thomas currently on the podium. So a great race for him so far. But as we said, this is the battle that we are watching right now. Leo Solilu trying to overtake the number 54 white bike and the number 36 multicoloured bike. You can see that's probably the easiest way to recognise them. A very nice, pretty, pure white bike there, trying to have pace, but it looks like they might go side by side. There was a big sort of moment there. He went very wide. The 36 now on the back of Harris Watson to the right now, but he didn't manage to get by him on this occasion. The number 36 still trying to chase down the number 54 of Harris Watson, now coming through St. John's on the exit here. Can the 36 of Leo Solilu get a good exit? He's going to try and go the wide way round. It's like trying to say Rowrah all over again, but unfortunately didn't manage to get by Harris Watson on this occasion. So currently a very good race so far. 3 laps to go in this race. A lot of drama, a lot of great racing, and it's Wilson Dilks that leads on the number 85 bike from Harrison Day. And a lapped car there. I think that is number 85. Yeah, that is our leader so far. Wilson Dilks comes over the line to start. 2 laps to go and our penultimate lap on this occasion.
Dilks is just so strong on that machine. I was watching yesterday in the practice session where he's really, really good. It's up in the hairpins, down there at McRae's, then up to Iredale's, the next right-hander. He's just able to get that bike rotated on a 50-pence piece. It's so quick how it's through those corners. It is really something special, and it's a rider who, for sure, in the near future, will be up in the British Talent Cup as soon as he is old enough. Of course, FAB-Racing, the best place to get your start in bike racing and make your way up into the R&G British Talent Cup and then onto British Superbikes, World Superbikes, MotoGP, anywhere you can think of. An interesting stat that we noticed earlier today is the last 2 rounds of British Superbikes races, as Dilks begins the final lap of the race, every single podium finisher in the last 2 rounds of BSB have all come from FAB-Racing. So that's more proof that this is the place that breeds the best British riders of tomorrow. Dilks then on his final lap. It's not the regular Dilks dominance out there. Only a 2.5 second gap, which again feels bizarre saying it's only 2.5 seconds, but normally he's half a lap ahead of everyone at this point. Shows that maybe the competition's starting to catch up a little bit, or maybe he's just taking it easy. There is Harrison Day, and behind him Logan Cousins, who on the timesheet is up to P4. We'll wait and see if he's far ahead enough of Matthew Thomas to maintain on the podium, or if Thomas falls on the road, will take that P3. But as Dilks comes to paddock bend for the final time, bit of traffic in front, but it's no worries for the reigning champ. Welcome back, Wilson Dilks, on top once again. Harrison Day finishes second, Logan Cousins third. Will he keep that third place? No. Matthew Thomas will take third. He was too close. Logan Cousins, that 3-second penalty hurting him in the end. So it's Dilks, Day and Thomas, your podium finishes. A shame for Logan Cousins, but a fair penalty following the jump start from race control. Wilson Dilks, it's order as normal. The 85 back on top in the amphibian scaffolding Extreme 200 class here in the Mastermac FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. Saturday's action at Rowrah continuing to hot up. It's Dilks on top once again, Harrison Day in P2, and Matthew Thomas rounding out our podium places, even though he finished 4th on the road. That penalty for Cousins dropping him down to 4th place. Travis Shaw's 5th, with Leo Solly, who looks like he got through Harris Watson for 6th place on the last lap. Watson was 7th as a result, with Taylor Davis in P8, Isabel Wingate in P9, and Howard Taylor rounding out our 10 finishes here at Rowrah in the opening race of the weekend for the amphibian scaffolding Extreme 200s. Of course, they'll be back out for race 2 and 3 later on, as it actually looks like there may have been an accident. Was that Harris Watson potentially? I believe it was Harris Watson. Went down at the final corner. He's up on his feet and helmet's off, but he looks to be in a little bit of discomfort, does Harris. So hopefully everything is okay for the 54. There's a few marshals running over. I'm sure the medics will be over soon as well. But he is up on his feet, which is the main thing, and that is good to see. But once again, it's Wilson Dilks taking victory here in the Extreme 200s. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a few more of those a little bit later on. So then that wraps up the Extreme 200s race. It'll be Moto Team by the looks things out next, but we're expecting a little bit of a delay before we get these guys going. But if you have just joined us, be on the official FAB-Racing YouTube channel or Motorsport Radio Live on TikTok for the first time, hello and welcome from wherever you are watching around the world to the 5th round of the 2025 Mastermac FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship back at Rowrah, a real modern classic for FAB-Racing and a track that the riders absolutely love and produces fantastic racing as well. You join myself, Ross McIntyre, Alex Rizzoli alongside me in the commentary box. And Alex, your first time at Rowrah as well. Are you enjoying it as much as the riders are?
I'll tell you what, I think it's one of my favourite tracks ever, to be perfectly honest. It's a beautiful track. It's built in an old quarry, and it actually has a little lake in it as well. And as soon as you come in the paddock, you can see the entire track and the paddock to your right hand side as well. It's a beautiful track up here in Cumbria. Now, we have had some fantastic racing so far. So much drama so far today. Obviously, we've just had the Extreme 200s, which I think is actually the first race we've had today where we haven't seen a crash or anything. Well, no, I say that. Actually, one rider went down in the final corner. So still a lot of drama in every single one of these. But let us know where you're listening from. Leave a comment. If you're on TikTok, let us know on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know who you're supporting on there. If you want to smash us a share, that's a new phrase I haven't heard before. If you want to share us, please do, and that would be fantastic. And let all your friends and let everyone know just where we are and just where you are as well. So we've got plenty more action to bring you today. We have Motor Team, which is up next, then the Mini GP50 Standard, our Premier Class, the Mini GP70, and then the PB 140s, and that'll be it for today. It's flying by today, and obviously we get to do it all again tomorrow. 20 races tomorrow, bring you 10 races today as well. So just got a little bit of a delay so far in this race. I think there was obviously a bit of an accident on that last lap in that corner, but everyone walked away okay. And I think the marshals are just making sure everything okay. So I mean, Ross, to be honest, favourite moment of the day so far, I mean, I'd have to go maybe AC40 Inters or maybe Mini GP50Rs as well. There's been just so much drama. What's been your favourite moment today?
I think I'd have to agree with you. There's just been those two races, especially just drama and chaos, especially late in the races as well. It's been really exciting stuff. And of course, Rowrah, it always produces brilliant stuff. There's a reason it's the rider's favourite. It's not just fun to ride, but it just it breeds brilliant racing all the time as well. So we are just waiting for this delay to go on. As you can see, a few moments ago, we got a returning face, someone we've not seen in a very long time in Moto Team, the 133. Welcome back, Sam Klaus. Good to have you here with us this weekend. As there we do see the rider, he's up on his feet and being tended to by the medics. He'll make a quick stop over to the medical bay, but he looks to be okay, which is the main thing. And I'm sure everything will be okay, so hopefully not too much longer of a delay. I believe that's Harris Watson that went down. In fact, so we'll have to wait and see. Wearing someone else's leathers, though, it would appear as well. Just because, you do that sometimes. I've seen plenty of riders turning up, not having a set of leathers and going, I want to go around, actually. Can I borrow yours? If it fits, it fits, as they say. As we can see, a few more of our riders. Got the O'Keefe guys there. We've got Phil Joyce, the 119. Great to have him here with us this weekend. We know he's been having a bit of a tough time recently. So great to have Phil along once again. Jamie King watching along, Pit Bike Sonic. Great to see him here. Got a few of the marshals there as well. I believe that's on the left-hand side of your picture. I believe his name is Tony, one of the senior marshals. I believe that's his name. So great to see him enjoying the action. Of course, a big thank you to all of the marshals and the medics that are joining us this weekend and enabling us to go racing as safely as possible. A big thank you. We couldn't be doing it without them, and they always do a fantastic job. So the incident looks to have been cleared. I think we might be getting the Moto Team guys out very shortly. If you are watching on the official FAB-Racing YouTube channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all of the above to help promote FAB-Racing, get the best of British grassroots bike racing out there in the world, especially with how much the series has grown over the last year. We've been told statistically it's the biggest mini bike series in Europe now, potentially in the world as well, which is awesome to hear. And it's just this series has grown so much this year. We want to see it do further, so get these names out there and show the best of British grassroots racing. As the Moto Team guys do make their way to the grid, let's get back to racing.
Absolutely. There on screen you can So we can see the number 8 there of Marco Pandolfo, and this is one of the championships that could potentially be wrapped up this weekend. Team Acme Racing, or the number 8 bike there of Marco Pandolfo. Incredible consistency from him all this season. The first round he got all second places, and everything else it's always a win for that number 8. So keep your eyes on him so far. He's on 260 points, and Gary O'Keefe just behind him on 143 points. So I believe statistically, if he's ahead by 151 points at the end of this weekend, he will be crowned champion with 2 rounds to go. So if that doesn't show you just what an incredible rider he is, then I don't know what will. So let's go on the grid. So the 133, you can see there just in second place, it seems to be at the minute. He has pole position. It doesn't have a front fairing, if that helps, the orange bike. The 133 of Sam Clowes is on pole position with Team Acme Racing on Marco Pandolfo in second place, and number 8 alongside him. Second row of the grid in third is Ian Jackson on the 27 bike, with Linton Dimiola in fourth place on the 41. Harrison O'Keefe, first of the O'Keefe brothers, 65. He starts fifth, with Phil Joyce in sixth, Ben O'Keefe in seventh. The last of the O'Keefe brothers, Gary, in 8th, and Madison Martlew on the 888 bike starts P9. We've got an incredible race ahead of us. This always produces great racing, does Motor Team. We've seen some fantastic battles so far, as we can see the number 8, Marco Pandolfo, Team Acme Racing on your right-hand side, and Wilson Dilks on pole, behind the pole on our screen. The number 133 there without the front fairing. So if that helps you identify the bikes, then, well, yeah, there you go. It's a good way to identify. So, Lee just telling all the riders, maybe moving the 133 back a little bit, and we're almost ready to go racing.
Yeah, Lee having a quick laugh with her brother there on the front row of the grid. Lee Clowes, our flag marshal here this weekend. Once again in Fab Racing, Sam Clowes, her brother, from pole position. The red lights go on, the red lights go off. That's a great start from Ian Jackson on the 27. Looks to slot into second place, but can't quite get it done as Clowes sweeps back around. But it is the Team Acme Racing number 8 bike, Marco Pandolfo, returning this weekend after missing Clay Pigeon. That Lindley doing the job that weekend. He assumes the lead from second on the grid as they make their way out of McRae's and up to Iredale's for the first time. An 11-lap race awaits us here in Moto Team. And a fair few open bikes out there as well. Now, it's important to say, only 3 open bikes as they make their way around. 2 of them the Team Acme Racing and Sam Clowes on the 133. The other one is Gary O'Keefe. So in order to take the championship this weekend, I believe that Gary O'Keefe needs to DNF every race and Team Acme Racing need to win every race, if my mental maths is correct. Otherwise, if Gary O'Keefe just takes home those third place points, they won't build up enough of a gap to bring it home at the end. So we'll have to work that one out in a little moment as they've got some moves further back in the pack. And maybe Madison Martlew trying a go potential on Gary O'Keefe. Ian Jackson down to P4 now, by the way. Linton Di Viola on the 41. The South African moves up to third place. Great to have him with us this weekend as well on that Suzuki. The naked version of that bike makes his way through McRae's and looks to try and push onwards ahead in P3. Now leading the way in the standard class as well. So the battle for P3 overall is the battle for the lead in the standard class. You've got Di Viola, Jackson, Harrison O'Keefe, Ben O'Keefe. They're all there or thereabouts. It's essentially a 4-way battle for this race win early doors in this one.
Yeah, as you can see that bike down the left-hand side of the screen with the no front fairing, the old black bike. That is our race leader for the Motor Team Standard and 3rd overall, with Ian Jackson, number 27 there, the black bike with the bright yellow numbers on it, and there on our screen is Harrison O'Keefe on the 65 red bike as well. So, plenty of good racing to come. 10 laps to go in this race. Sam Clowes set the fastest lap on that last lap by a tenth of a second from Team Acme Racing or Marco Pandolfo, as it were. Ian Jackson up into the lead of the Motor Team race. There we go. We can see him there, as we said, the black fairing with the bright yellow numbers on the front and sort of blue wheels. That's how you can identify the number 27 and our current race leader for Motor Team Standard, Ian Jackson there, being chased by Linton Di Maiola, obviously the South African there with the naked Suzuki there. And this is the lead for the open class and the overall race so far. The number blue, the 8, the blue bike there, that's number 8, the Team Acme Racing, Marco Pandolfo, and the 133 of Sam Clowes just behind there. Who is going to come out of this battle victorious? Very easy to identify both of these riders in this race so far. Oh, it's very, very close between Sam Clowes and Marco Pandolfo. Coming over the line to start, 8 laps to go. The 133 cuts to the inside. Oh, then they go side by side. And that was a very, very near. I don't know if the wheels actually did touch there. It looked like they did, but they both got through cleanly. Now, coming through the left-hander of McRae's and into the right-hander of Iredale's now after this straight. Team Acme Racing just pulling away a little bit now. I think maybe Sam Clowes has maybe gone, okay, I need to be a bit more careful going around there, but it's certainly not going to stop him from chasing Pandolfo for the lead of this race. A wide line from both of them, turning into the S's now around the right hand. You want to miss that first apex and then hit the second, but this is where the 133 has been strong on the inside, but Marco Pandolfo shuts the door, says, oi, mate, you're not coming through here, you're going to have to try elsewhere. The 133 now trying just to try different lines, coming around the final corner, going a little bit wider. Then the number 8 Team Acme Racing going over the line. It's side by side, but Pandolfo keeps the lead.
Yeah, the 133's had to sit the bike up a couple of times. He's looked to the inside, and Marco Pandolfo's not having any of it and forcing Clowes to back off. Just an update, I've done the maths on the championship wise. If the Team Acme number 8 bike wins all 3 races in the open class and Gary O'Keefe finishes every race in 3rd, the gap will be 144 points at the end of this weekend, so not enough to take the championship at this round. So if that happens, it means that Marco Pandolfo needs to win and hope that Gary O'Keefe doesn't take a victory. That is or take P3 in one of the races. That's a fantastic move by Sam Clowes to get through up into the overall lead of this race and the lead of the open class as well. Muscled his way through the stewardesses, and now the number 8 has a fight on their hands. Can Clowes maybe extend that gap? Can Marco Pandolfo, the Sicilian, fight back in this clearly international Moto Team Championship? We've already had a round. We had a semi, not quite an Ashes tournament, even though the Ashes involves Australia, who had the English riders against the South African riders. That was back at Ella Park. And now we've got the Englishman Sam Clowes fighting against the Sicilian Marco Pandolfo, and P leading the way, or P2 actually now, should I say, in the standard class. P4 overall, Linton Dimiola in from South Africa as well. Multiple different nationalities being represented in the cheapest form of motorsport available in the UK. This is the battle for the lead in the standard class. 3rd and 4th overall, Ian Jackson now ahead of the 41 of Dimiola as they make their way out of Iredales and down to the bottom end of the circuit, past the lake, just beyond the hedges at the back of your picture. And Dimiola looks patient, looks like he's maybe trying to think about setting up another move. 6 to go, it will shortly be 5 when the leaders next come to the line, as Ian Jackson doing a spectacular job at the moment, a rider who is always there or thereabout, leading the championship at the moment. 15 points ahead of Harrison O'Keefe in the standard class title, and looking to try and extend that gap here. Harrison O'Keefe, he's P3 in class P5 overall as it stands. 5 to go then as they cross the line. Sam Clowes has just set the fastest lap of the race at 54.401. Of course, that's miles away from the lap record, and we'll probably never ever see a lap record set ever again in Moto Team following the regulation change a couple of years ago. Lap record currently at 53.634, set by Will Houth back in 2018. It's one of the oldest records we have in terms of age in lap records. The bombshell, of course, Will Houth turned up on that monstrous 96 machine for the first round of the season. We've not seen him since, but we know when he does turn up, he's normally winning. So Clowes leads in the open class. The number 8 Team FAB-Racing bike is second, and Gary O'Keefe in P3. In the standard class, we're watching the fight for the lead. Ian Jackson leads from Linton Dimiola. Harrison O'Keefe, he's P3 a little bit further back. 4 laps left to go.
Absolutely, the Motor Team standard class is having some great action between Ian Jackson and Linton Dimiola, going over the start-finish line to start. 4 laps to go for this race. Obviously, Ian Jackson in 3rd overall, but obviously first in this, first in the standard class, which is brilliant. But he went wide. Oh, it's going to be side by side between Dimiola and Jackson. Is Dimiola going to be able to send it down the inside? Oh, he does, but he's going to have to back out there. And the number 27 takes the title, and I think he might have just saved himself there. But here comes Linton Dimiola. Is he going to make a move? No, he's not. He's going to take a wider line and follow Ian Jackson as well. We also spoke to him in our paddock show as well, which will be coming up later, which is a great watch. It's a fantastic watch. Me and Ross going up and down the paddock. It's brilliant to talk to all of these riders and to try and understand what goes on inside their heads. Now, to the battle at the front between Sam Clowes and Team FAB-Racing, 7/10 of a second between those two. But I believe that Team FAB-Racing or Marco Pandolfo has won the past 6 races, all with fastest laps as well. So all rounds at Clay Pigeon and all rounds at Hooton Park as well. So it'd be very rare if Sam Clowes manages to beat Pandolfo on this occasion, but a win that Clowes will relish in if he manages to achieve it with only 2 laps to go now. We're starting the penultimate lap. Just when we get around these corners to go here, coming through the S's into the right-hander now at St John's, through the left, and lovely stuff. And this is the battle between the 119 of Phil Joyce and Ben O'Keefe just ahead. Phil Joyce trying to go left or right, and we're just trying to think back now of the O'Keefe brothers, very competitive with each other. Which one did actually say to us that they were going to beat the others? But let's have a look to see if that is right or not. So looking now, obviously Ben O'Keefe trying to defend from Phil Joyce, the 119 just behind. The closest battle on track is about 4 or 5 tenths of a second over the line on that last lap. 2 laps to go between well, for this race of Moto Team. Over the line now, the 64 goals with Phil Joyce just behind 0.2 of a second between this black and orange bike, followed by the white bike there, the 119 of Phil Joyce. A very classic looking bike, very nice. As we see some action going on here. Oh, never mind, it's the same battle. The 119 trying to cut up the inside of the 64, but the 64 gets a much better exit coming into Iredale's this 90-degree right-hander hairpin. It's a great corner, but there the 116 goes 119 even goes very wide coming out of that corner there, and that is Sam Clowes, our race leader, followed by Team Acme Racing or Marco Pandolfo, the Italian stallion, but he hasn't galloped so far into the lead into this race. He will have to settle for second on this last lap of this race, as the gap is 1.4 seconds between Sam Clowes and Team Acme Racing at Pandolfo. It's going to be an incredible victory, breaking Team Acme Racing Pandolfo's current 6-race win streak there, but it's going to be Sam Clowes. He's shown his face back. It's fantastic stuff for the number 133 Sam Clowes round the final corner, and he is going to win from 1.5 seconds from Pandolfo. Sam Clowes wins, and Pandolfo has to settle for second by 1.3 seconds in this race. That is the Moto Team Open, but who is going to win the Moto Team Standard class? Is it going to be the 27 of Ian Jackson or the 41 of Linton Dimiola? Let's wait and see as they come round the final corner any moment now. Here we are, I believe, and that is the 60. Oh, never mind, that's the 60 of Gary O'Keefe. We're still not there yet. Here we go, I think. There we go. The number 27, Ian Jackson, takes the win in the Moto Team Standard and takes the third place overall. Linton Dimiola in fourth, and I think that's Harrison O'Keefe. I know it's Madison Martlew coming over the line as we now get the final few riders coming around the line. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was very close going over the line there. So, a brilliant race there in Moto Team. Sam Clowes returns and puts his stamp on this weekend so far. He takes the win away from Team Acme Racing in the Moto Team Open. P3 in the Moto Team Open is Gary O'Keefe that finished PA overall. Moto Team Standard, Ian Jackson wins that, or third overall. Linton Dimiola in second in class, in Standard in fourth. Harrison O'Keefe in third, but fifth overall. Ben O'Keefe, Phil Joyce, Gary O'Keefe and Madison Martlew rounding out at 9 riders.
Great racing there. What a return for Sam Clowes. Years he's been away, straight back to the top here in Moto Team, and you could tell he was delighted with some big celebrations before he'd even got to the line. And also Shaw, our flag marshal, his sister Lee Clowes, with a fist pump, showing some emotion there that isn't moody for a change. Great to see that Lee Clowes enjoying herself there for that one. But yeah, Lee Clowes, very happy for her brother there. What a return for Sam Clowes. And Team Acme Racing as well, if they want to clinch the championship this weekend, second place, that's going to be a little bit tighter than what they would want. But they are still able to clinch it. They've got 2 more races heading your way tomorrow.
So here we are for another fantastic race coming your way here. It's the Mini GP50s. So we had the Standard first, and it's the GP50 sponsored by the King's Two Wheels Centre. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this class. Obviously we had the MotoGP 50Rs earlier, which had the 2 classes of bikes in, and it provided some absolutely sensational, properly incredible racing and a lot of drama as well. And I can only fear we're going to have the same in this race as well. 16 bikes making their way to the grid just before we have our formation lap before we go racing. So who is going to win out of these 2? That is on the nearest to us. That's 64. Sebastian Gazlowski looks to the right with a complete white helmet alongside Rex Austin in the 991. P1 and 2. These 2 have got an incredible rivalry going on. P1 and 2 in the championship. Gazlowski with 236 points. Rex Austin with 185 points. The 991. Is he going to be able to make any grounds on that championship lead? Gazlowski has taken 2 perfect weekends this season, and it was actually last time out at Clay Pigeon. He won all 3 races in this class. Is he going to be able to do it again for race 1? So it will be Gazlowski on pole position, as you can see on the left hand side of the track there, with Rex Austin in the blue bike just alongside him there. So Rex Austin with the sort of a GBR Great Britain helmet, with Gazlowski with the pure white helmet, so that will help you to identify them. So, Caelan Ratcliffe is in P3 on the number 96, with Emilio Pereira returning in P4. Great to see him back here. Josh Perkins on the third row of the grid lines up 5th, alongside Tommy Keats in 6th place. Number 22 of Jensen Ansell will start P7, with a 141 of Max Johnson lining up alongside. Kai Hawking in the 20 starts P9, and rounding out our top 10 is the number 17 of Riley Paisley. P11 is the way of Bo Morris on the 57 bike, with Daisy Polden, obviously big sister to Savannah Polden, racing in the AC40 class as well. She starts P12. Harry James starts P13, with Bojan Blazevsky starting P14. Callum Maxwell starts P15, and rounding out our final bike on the grid is the 126 of Oliver Wilson, with 16 bikes on this grid as well. It's going to be a race full of drama. It's going to be a race filled with action. And let's see what Rex Austin can do to maybe bring the gap down to Gazlowski as we see them lining up on the grid there. That's Rex Austin just coming through there, parking in second place, with Gazlowski just having a word. There you can see the 64 nearest to us and the 991 on the right-hand side of the grid. It's going to be a good race. You can see the number 31 there of Emilio Pereira just to your left-hand side of the screen. Great to see him returning. He's a very famous face here at FAB-Racing. Lee Clowes there looking very happy this weekend. She holds the flag up and is going to point to the lights just when all of the riders are ready. She will point to the lights, and then we can get this race underway. So, who's going to get the best start? Is it going to be Gazlowski? Is it going to be Rex Austin? Let's have a look. And it's going to be a great start for quite a few riders in the mid-pack there, but it's going to be Gazlowski that takes the lead away from Rex Austin there. We've got a whole gaggle of bikes in that middle section there. A few people gaining positions, a few people losing some, but Rex Austin already going on the attack and trying to take a wider line, coming out of the McRae section there now into Iredale's on the right hand side. Gazlowski has the lead from Rex Austin, and that is Caelan Ratcliffe and I think Emilio Pereira there as well. All of these riders trying to do everything that they can do to take the lead of this race.
Austin keeping that pressure on Gazlowski as everyone else looks to make a nice and clean start. Pereira got away a bit slowly but was able to hold on to P3, but it looks like somebody else has slid on by. I believe that maybe the 96 of Caelan Ratcliffe. It is the number 96 of Caelan Ratcliffe that's now up into P3. So Pereira, despite a poor start from P4, was able to take that P3, and in fact I think he may be down to 5th overall. Looks like Tommy Keats has got through. Yes, he has. So it's Gazlowski that leads. Pressure still being put on there by the 991 of Rex Austin just behind them. Caelan Ratcliffe as well, right on their tail. So it's a little bit tighter than maybe we would have expected at the start of this one. Gazlowski took pole position by some 0.3 of a second. So the one-lap pace is there for the championship leader, but of course you have to remember it's one thing to be quick over one lap, it's another thing to be quick when you've got 15 other bikes breathing down your neck trying to take what you have. Gazlowski very much the hunted at the moment, and Austin very much the hunter. The 991 follows him into Sunny Bend. You can make a move there. Of course Austin was way too far back. You can make very opportune moves into the penultimate corner, but it's high risk, high reward. If you get through, you will confirm your position and slow the other bike down, but if you mess up, if you're not able to get through, it can cost you half a second, a second's worth of time. So you really got to be confident trying to make moves into the penultimate corner down at Sunny Bend. Back out of McRae's we go. It's still Gazlowski that leads this race. Austin though is right on his tail.
Yeah, Gazlowski trying to defend it from Rex Austin. Caelan Ratcliffe dropping back a little bit, but Rex Austin on that last lap had the fastest lap of a 51.930, but Gazlowski only a 100th of a second behind him in terms of pace. So both of these riders are so easily matched, so equally matched I should say. This is a battle for 4, 5 and 6 here. So the leading bike, the 22 of Jensen Ansell, as we now see a move to the inside there for Tommy Keats by Emilio Pereira there. All of these bikes, actually no, I think that was Emilio Pereira on Tommy Keats there. Indeed was there a great move by the veteran of FAB-Racing there, a very famous name here with us this weekend. So Emilio Pereira moves up to P5 as we're now seeing another big battle here, the 31 and the 22, and that's on the outside I think. Emilio Pereira actually drops by a little bit, trying to make a move on Jensen Ansell, but it didn't work out on this occasion.
Yeah, Pereira running well and struggling at the same time, it would seem. El Toro with a great move on Keats coming through Sunny Bend, but then a small mistake and trying to get through Jensen Ansel, and now he's under potentially pressure again, but he'll push onwards. Looks really strong through the fast section coming into St John's. Is he going to try it again into Sunny Bend? No, too far back for the 31. But after a strong start that turned into a disappointing start, Emilio Pereira looks like he's got himself together and is back on the charge. The FAB-Racing Rookies Cup vice-champion of 2024. Of course, that titanic battle with Nelly Nuth that went all the way to the final corner of the final race. And he's showing he has what it takes up on the bigger gear machinery in the Metrokit Mini GP50 class as well. Draws to the inside once again, neck and neck. Doesn't quite have the momentum and will have to go the long way around unless he can maybe look for the up and under. Does get the up and under as Ansel runs wide, but might have more momentum still side by side as they come to the bottom end of the circuit. Wow. But this time Pereira will confirm the position. Back up to P4 for the 31. That was a well thought and well executed move. Over half a lap's worth of racing.
Absolutely, and that is why Emilio Pereira is, well, that's why we give him such a good shouting out on here, because he is a fantastic rider. But so is Jensen Ansel, as he is now coming, trying to attack the number 31 of Emilio Pereira. Takes a wider line coming out of the first corner, tries to send it on the inside of turn one. It's not going to work on this occasion, as it's an uphill left-right-left section. Right-left-right section, but on this occasion it didn't work. Now coming through the 90-degree left-hander of McRae's, there's a little bit of a straight, and then the right-hander of Iredale's now is the 22 or the 31, keeping it very tight there and actually trying to back up Tommy Keats. That's an incredible tactic if that is what Emilio Pereira is thinking. Maybe he's just trying to back up the 22 into arm's reach of Tommy Keats on the number 8 bike, and then while they're battling, he can try and, well, put his hand down on the throttle. Let's see if that tactic is going to work. Oh, it's a risky tactic though, coming through this corner. You can either make it or break your race through that corner there, but the number 22 right on the back of Emilio Pereira now, but so is the number 8 on the back of Jensen Ansel. It's probably now or never, I think, in this race for the 22 to make a move on Emilio Pereira. The number 8 trying to make a move on the 22, and get this, Josh Perkins and the number 30 is caught up to this battle as well. So we've got 4 bikes fighting for 4th place here, and there's a big moment there. The number 31, the number 22 and the number 8 having a big moment all there. Everyone trying to figure out what to do, where to put their bikes, but I don't know, that might have benefited Jensen Ansel and Tommy Keats as well. The number 22 tried to pull alongside the number 31. Oh, what a move from Jensen Ansel there. We said that both of these riders are incredibly talented, and so they are, and look at that, the number 31 dropping back into the arms of the number 8, and behind that Josh Perkins as well. So whether he's just had a bad couple of corners there, but well, obviously he has, because Jensen Ansel, look at that, he's already managed to get really far ahead as well. Now the battle between the 30 and the number 8 going over the line. The 30's on the inside. Wowie, that was close, coming through the first corner there, or in the chicane. Now the 31 lapping one of the other bikes there. That's one of the back markers there. The 31, the 8 and the 30 all battling for this fantastic racing.
Yeah, really tight there. The 126 of Oliver Wilson, he's P16 and last, unfortunately, but maybe encountering some issues. He seems to be going abnormally slowly, and we saw him trying to weave the bike down the straight there as well. So potentially issues for Wilson. The leader, Sebastian Goslavsky, 2.5 seconds ahead on the number 64 bike. Rex Austin dropping back, unfortunately. He's just started his penultimate lap of the race, has the race leader. Ansel's managed to break away from this pack of 3, so it's now a 3-way fight for P5. Pereira, Keats and Josh Perkins looking to bring it all the way to the line, as there is your race leader. Sebastian Goslavsky got going and never looked back. That last lap was not his best lap of the race, but an incredibly strong one, a 51.5. That was a second quicker than Rex Austin. Austin, yes, they are now encountering traffic. He may have been held up, but Goslavsky is in complete control of this race and looks to extend his championship lead as well. It took him until the final round of the season last year to take a race win, and this year in the Mini GP50s, brought to you by King's Tool Centre, Sebastian Goslavsky has won everything he has touched. He starts the final lap of the race now, and this should be a very easy final lap for him, because he's got a huge gap behind him.
Absolutely. It's going to be hopefully an incredible win for the 64. It looks like he's overtaking Bojan Blazewski there, or just lapping him there. A great performance for the number 64 as Gazlowski. Rex Austin in second and Caelan Ratcliffe so far in third place on the 96 bike. It's 4.7 seconds the gap between Gazlowski and Rex Austin, stamping his authority on the championship so far. They're quite far separated in the championship, but as we know, anything can happen in racing, and so often does. So Gazlowski, for the final time in this race, comes through St. John's right-hander and the left-hander now, and he's only got one more corner to go, and he has won yet another race. It'll be a fifth race in a row as well, and over the line goes Gazlowski and wins from Rex Austin in second place, who comes round and takes the checkered flag. Now a great performance from the 991 as well, followed by the 96 of Caelan Ratcliffe, who crosses the line just in one of these gaggle of bikes even there as well. A great performance there, and a great battle between obviously Jensen Ansel, Pereira and Tommy Keats as well. So as we wait for the final few riders to cross the line, obviously Gazlowski wins the race from Rex Austin by quite a big gap as well, 6.3 seconds as well, and 4 seconds on the back of him. In third place was Caelan Ratcliffe as well. So Sebastian Gazlowski wins from Rex Austin and Caelan Ratcliffe. Jensen Ansel takes fourth, Emilio Pereira takes fifth, and Tommy Keats in 6th as well. Josh Perkins in P7, Kai Hawkey in P8, Bo Morris in P9, Max Johnson rounds out the top 10. Then Davesy Bolden just missing out on a top 10 finish in there. P12 goes away of Riley Paisley. Bojan Blazewski finishes 13th, Harry James 14th, Callum Maxwell 15th, and Oliver Wilson rounds out our 16 bikes in that race.
Great result for Caelan Ratcliffe. That's only his second podium of the season, the first coming in race 3 at Hooton Park. So fantastic stuff from the number 96. So congratulations to him. But of course, the 64 of Gazlowski taking the win once again in the Mini GP 50s, brought to you by King's Two Wheel Centre. 2 more races coming your way on Sunday. It is time for the Premier Class. It is time for the main event. It is time for the Metrokit Mini GP70 British Championship here at the Mastermac FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship, and it's the one that everybody wants to be winning. It's not a big grid here, unfortunately. It never is in the 70s at Rowrah. It's obviously very far north. We're not just in Cumbria in the Lake District. We are right up in Cumbria in the Lake District, quite near to Whitehaven. So a lot of people decide that making the long old journey isn't quite worth it. But out of the riders that we have, it is very, very close between 5 riders out there. The top 5 in the grid, all within half a second of each other, and second to fourth, all within a tenth of a second of each other from their fastest laps in qualifying. This has the potential to be an absolutely fantastic race. So we're going to wait to see as they're hopefully coming out onto the grid very, very shortly, and we can get things going here. And indeed they are. There we see Leo Soliu leading the charge. He'll be starting from P6. We're starting from the pole today. Not a rider you'd normally expect to be on the front of the grid, not one of the normal one-lap heroes here at FAB-Racing. It is the 47 of Matthew Thomas, who took pole position in the second qualifying session and did break the lap record unofficially. Of course, to break the lap record officially, you have to do it in a race, but did break the lap record in that qualifying session. So we know that 47 has a lot of pace on board. He's only had 2 third places to his name so far this season. Can he get another podium? Can he maybe take his first win this weekend as well? We'll have to wait and see, because there's a fair few laps of racing heading our way as they make their way out onto their sighting lap. It is Thomas that starts from pole. Frankie Watson alongside in P2. Harrison Day, who, if he has a perfect weekend, and the likes of Travis Shaw and Taylor Tomlinson, who's not here, don't finish, he will win the championship by 1 point, but I think that's unlikely, but it is mathematically possible. Day starts from third place. Logan Cousins alongside Travis Shaw and Leo Soliu on the third row, and it's Harris Watson 7th, Taylor Davis in P8. So Day mathematically can do the championship this weekend. In reality, it's very highly unlikely, but that would be such a great thing to add to his CV. Of course, the Mini GP70 British Championship. It is the gateway into the R&G British Talent Cup. It is the gateway into the Bennett's British Superbike Championship, into Red Bull Rookies, into World Superbikes, into MotoGP, Grand Prix Racing. And it's a place where so many strong names have come and showed and plied their trade and shown what they can do on 2 wheels out on a racetrack. To add this title to your CV can do so much for your bike racing career. There we see Harrison Day pulling into his third place grip spot, having a chat with his dad / chief mechanic, former BSB rider Josh Day there. In though comes Matthew Thomas into the pole position. Not a familiar sight for him, normally starting a bit further back, but what a lap it was in qualifying too. He's getting ready to send them on their way. It'll be red lights on. It is lights out and we're underway in race number 1. Strong start there from Thomas. He'll lead down into turn 1 ahead of Frankie Watson. It's all status quo behind. Don't think anybody changing away from their grid positions. Day, good run out of the chicane. Does look to the inside there of Frankie Watson, but has to sit the bike up. That will cost him a bit of momentum on the run up to the Iredale's hairpin for the first time. Watson there looking for a little bit maybe, but keeps on pushing. So the 40 will stay behind the 47 of Thomas as he gets on the rear brake. The rear moving all over the place down to the bottom end before they make their way through the Stuart S's. Now into St John's for the first time. Day looks really aggressive out of the gate, wants to try and make some moves early doors to continue to stamp his authority on this championship. But at the end of lap number 1, it is your pole sitter Matthew Thomas that's going to lead from Frankie Watson in second. It'll be Harrison Day P3, just behind them Logan Cousins in 4.
Absolutely, Logan Cousins catching up to Harrison Day there. Harrison Day maybe just got a little bit too aggressive on the back of Frankie Watson, number 14 bike there. They're going to go side by side, it looks like. No, the 14 is just going to be able to cover off the number 15 as well. Is the 15 going to be able to make a move? No, on that occasion. But this is all brilliant for the number 47 of Matthew Thomas, who can just absolutely get the throttle down now and get away from this fighting battle between Frankie Watson, Harrison Day and Logan Cousins. To be fair, even Travis Shaw on the back of this battle as well. The 47 now doing everything he needs to, just placing the bike exactly where he needs to. The number 14, Frankie Watson, under attack from the bright pink bike of Harrison Day. Now look at this battle between first to fifth, even if we can include Travis Shaw in that. It's only going to be maybe a second or so between these riders. 1.5 seconds separates Travis Shaw, Logan Cousins, Harrison Day and your race leader Matthew Thomas at this point. Oh, a little bit of a moment there maybe for Harrison Day. Got a little bit slowly out of there, under attack from Logan Cousins. Just behind now, and yeah, the number 7 is attacking Harrison Day there. So let's have a look at the number 14 now, trying to make a move on the 47. The 47 trying everything that he can do. Matthew Thomas, obviously first time pole sitter, and can he get his first win as well? And there, oh, we're hearing from race control that there is a jump start.
Oh, it's Frankie Watson.
For Frankie Watson, which will drop him down to P5. Obviously on the road, he's in second place. So that is massive, actually. And that is actually really good for Matthew Thomas, because that means that there is a buffer between him and Harrison Day. So it doesn't necessarily matter at this point if Frankie Watson manages to get by him. But look at this, the battle between the number 15 and the number 7. That's Harrison Day and Logan Cousins going wheel to wheel now, trying to take different lines there. The bright blue bike of Logan Cousins and the bright pink bike of the number 15 fighting tooth and nail to try and catch, obviously, Frankie Watson ahead. But Frankie Watson is going to want to overtake the number 47 to try and bring down that 3-second jump start penalty. But so far, so good for Matthew Thomas.
That is massive for Matthew Thomas as well, because obviously Watson isn't going to know, unless he was aware that he got a big jump start, that he's going to have that 3-second penalty. So he still thinks he's going to be fighting for position, trying to go for the lead with Thomas, fighting with that Dayglow bike of Harrison Day behind, and he's going to be holding them up. And that being said, though, up the inside, that's a wonderful block pass from Harrison Day to get up into P2 on the road. He wasn't P2 anyway, of course, with that penalty for Watson. But now he can maybe try and attack our race leader in Matthew Thomas. Watson is going to fight back, though. Again, he doesn't know that he has a penalty. He still thinks he's fighting for position, even though on the timing sheets he's down to P5. Of course, race control apply those penalties immediately during the race, so they drop down to on your timing tower, where they will actually finish or where they are actually running in terms of their timings at the time. So, although Watson is now third on the road, he's currently running P5 in the overall race order. It is Thomas that still leads with 6 laps left to go. Harrison Day up to second place. Logan Cousins fourth on the road. He runs P3.
Half a second is the gap between second and first. Look at this. I thought that maybe, all these riders would have maybe, had an accordion effect and maybe sort of spread out. But so far, we've had almost 5 minutes into this race. They are still so close between them. The gap between these riders is only about 2.6 seconds back to Travis Shaw. So it's so tight. And obviously the 14 is still, Frankie Watson is still going to be trying to attack the 15 of Harrison Day. So while Harrison Day can maybe try thinking about attacking Matthew Thomas, he's got to think, obviously, if he does make a mistake and go deep into a corner, the number 14 is going to then take advantage of that. So it's like a chess game, obviously, racing. You've got to think in front, you've got to think behind you, and you've got to think also 3 corners ahead, but 2 corners behind and everything. It's a massive chess game. And obviously these really young riders as well, they do it absolutely brilliantly and make it look effortless. So Matthew Thomas is leading this race by 3/10 from Harrison Day. Logan Cousins in 3rd place, and Travis Shaw just there in the fluorescent yellow and blue bike as well. The 14 is now under attack. The 14 is now attacking the 15, and it hasn't worked on this so far. And we're hearing potentially about another the number 14 obviously has the penalty there, and Harrison Day fighting tooth and nail, trying to get on the back of Thomas, trying to drop the number 14 of Frankie Watson behind, but Frankie Watson on that last lap set the fastest lap of a 48.8. Only Harrison Day and Logan Cousins have managed to jump into the 48 on this occasion. There is Travis Shaw, the number 4 there, bright blue and fluorescent yellow. It's lovely to see. So the 47 leads. Harrison Day's getting ever closer. The 14 is getting close to 15, and Logan Cousins on the back of this battle as well. It's getting close, Ross.
Getting tense as well. Of course, there's one thing to catch the bike in front. It is another thing to overtake, and the lap times are so tight. Everybody's lapping within about a 1/10 of a second of each other. So it is really tight racing out there. Harrison Day looking to try and create something into St John's. Nothing there. And Thomas clearly comfortable up in front. He's not going defensive. Oh, that was a missed gear from Harrison Day, and that's going to cost him a couple of tenths. He got out of the corner, went to put it in gear, just missed it completely. The bike almost came to a complete grinding halt. You can see him jolting forward as the thing didn't go. So a small mistake, potentially with big consequences as we start to get to the final phases of this race, the opening race of the Mini GP70 British Championship here at Rowrah, the 5th round of FAB-Racing in 2025. Matthew Thomas starting from pole, looking for his first Mini GP70 win. Can he hold on? He's got Harrison Day right behind him. Frankie Watson putting the pressure on as well, even though with that penalty he's actually running in P4 at the moment. It's going to be 2 to go when they get to the line, and the top 3 on the road are all locked together, rounding Paddock Bend. Harrison Day still close enough. Is he close enough for a look on this lap though?
Well, let's have a look. Starting the penultimate lap now, the number 47. I believe if it stays like this, his mum will be doing cartwheels in race control if it stays like this. Brilliant to see. It's the number 47 now, still keeping the lead of this race. Number 14 closing up to the number 15. Obviously, I'm not sure the 14 knows that he has a penalty, but it's certainly not stopping him in this race. Number 47 goes defensive. Harrison Day on the back now. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. We think one of the other riders, maybe Travis Shaw's dropped back as well from this battle, so we're not too sure. Oh, there he is. Just dropped back. Maybe these two have just picked up the pace ever so slightly to try and get by Matthew Thomas as we come around St John's for the second to last time. It's going to be the last lap now. Everyone is going to be on the edge of their seat for Matthew Thomas. He takes the last lap flag. Oh, he only has a couple of corners to go now, and he will take his first win. Let's have a look to see if he can win. Harrison Day fighting the number 14 of Frankie Watson just behind. The 47 just has to keep it on the tarmac, on the black stuff, and he will win his first race here in the Mini GP70 class. A brilliant ride so far from him, taking pole position, led every lap so far. Is he going to be able to keep it in first place over the line? The number 15 getting very close there to the back of the number 47. It's going to be a last lap dash if Harrison Day is going to make a move. Coming through St John's here, the left-hander. 1 corner to go now. Is he going to be able to take the win? Unless Harrison Day can do something spectacular. The number 47, Matthew Thomas, takes his first win in the GP70 class. Fantastic. Using all the might of a Welsh Dragon there to take his first win. A brilliant effort there from Matthew Thomas. Harrison Day brings it home in second, and obviously the 14 of Frankie Watson did have that penalty, finish on the road in third, but will be put down to fourth place as well. Logan Cousins in third place. So it's Matthew Thomas on the 47 bike, takes his maiden win away. Harrison Day in P2, and Logan Cousins rounds out the podium positions in P3. Frankie Watson with that 3-second penalty finished second on the road, but P4 overall, finished P4. Travis Shaw in P5, Leo Sululu in P6, Taylor Davis in P7, and something happened to Harris Watson there and only did one lap. So whether he had a mechanical retirement and brought into the pits, we're not sure. But wow, Ross, it's always special when you see a rider get their first win.
I mean, it certainly is, and we know how hard Matthew Thomas has been working for that one. And congratulations to him on his first Mini GP70 British Championship victory. But he's not had to work for it over time. He had to work for that one during the race as well. So tense, so close with all of the pressure from Harrison Day, from Logan Cousins, from Frankie Watson. Of course, these are the stars of tomorrow today. These are the riders that are going to be in the R&G British Talent Cup, that are going to be moving on to the Bennett's British Superbike Championship, over to World Superbikes, over to MotoGP perhaps. And wow, I mean, just incredible for Matthew Thomas. He finally gets that first win, and maybe that unlocks that mentality. That's the little win he needed to push him over the edge. And he's starting from pole as well for 2 more races coming your way tomorrow. That could be an incredible result for him. What a race there in the Mini GP70s here. And we will be back for 2 more races tomorrow. 1 more race to come today, though. Final race of the day about to get underway, and it is the Pit Bike 140s that may have already made their way onto the track, I believe. And yes, they have, because there's only a handful of them, 7 of them, unfortunately. But it's set to be a very exciting race as they make their way. The final race today on the sighting lap. It's Harrison Quincy, who coming into this weekend is now the championship leader by only a handful of points. It's all been chopping and changing in the Pit Bikes. Jamie King, the 4-time champ, the reigning champ, he starts in second place, and he is P3 in the championship, only 9 points behind Quincy. Chris Wells is second, and he is nowhere to be seen this weekend, so he's going to lose out big time championship wise. Keaton Payne, he took his first race win in a long old while in the senior mini motos earlier on today. He starts P3. Mackie McLean starts 4th. Rowrah is P5 with Matt Lindley. He was standing in for Team Acme Racing last time out of Clay Pigeon in Moto Team. He's P6. Robert Leverage in P7. So a small grid for Pit Bike 140s, but one is very interesting. Of course, big championship implications. We've not got Chris Wells here. That could be massive going forward, but your likes of Quincy and Jamie King right up there at the front, and looking at the lap times, not a massive difference between them, so it could be quite close out there on the track.
Absolutely. 9 points is the gap between Harrison Quincy, Chris Wells and Jamie King in the championship, and it'll be 7 points from Chris Wells to Harrison Quincy as well. So all to play for here. Harrison Quincy on the left, Jamie King pit by Sonic on the right hand side. Who is going to win the final race of the day and race 1 for these Pit Bike 140s? And it's going to be go Harrison Quincy gets a very good start. Pit by Sonic cuts to the inside immediately. Keaton Payne not able to make a move on Jamie King there. All of them getting through the first corner nice and steady, which we love to see. The 112 there, or the 12 of Keaton Payne in third place. Jamie King the 76 in P2, but our leader is that bike there, the black and orange bike. 755 Harrison Quincy leads the way and already has quite a bit of a gap. A bit of smoke there from the back of Jamie King's bike. Not too sure if that's just normal or maybe he might have a little problem. We've certainly seen a lot of drama today, and I'm sure we'll see some more in this race. Harrison Quincy leads so far from Jamie King and Keaton Payne. I think everyone's actually kept position so far, just like the grid. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what is going to happen in this race. Can Keaton Payne maybe cause a world of pain on Harrison Quincy, or can Jamie King maybe take victory again as Pit Bike Sonic? He'll be collecting all the rings and getting all the power-ups to try and take the win of this race. So it's the final race of the day, the final boss, some could say, for Jamie King in Pit Bike Sonic. Harrison Quincy leads the way from Jamie King, just behind with Keaton Payne in third.
Yeah, great start from Keaton Payne. Yes, from P3 in the grid, but he's keeping pace and maybe putting King under a little bit of pressure. There's some fighting further back in the pack. This is Adam Thornborough and Matty McLean. squabbling over 4th place as it stands. Looks like it's Thornborough who got through on the previous lap and holding on to position, but that's a late dive up the inside for the 17. Nice move there from McLean to regain that 4th place. Slides on the inside, coming into the Stuart S's. A nice little move there as these guys headed to St John's and Sunny Bend. It'll be 9 laps left to go when the race leader breaks the beam at the line, which he does so now. So already starting to get through this race. Quincy already a 1.7 second lead. King, whatever issues he may have been having, he looked a little bit off the pace at the start of the race. He's now settled back down, running very similar pace to Quincy, and he's already 1.7 seconds off. So Quincy looking to try and extend his championship lead. Of course, very, very tight is the champion. Quincy, a late entry into the championship and had a bitty disappointing opening weekend, but since then he's been on an absolute tear, winning all 3 races, and the 3rd round at Hooton Park, winning 2 back at Clay Pigeon as well, after we had a couple of other riders turning up. Of course, Ollie Horner winning race number 3 on his return to FAB-Racing. We have Richard Holmes-Williams, who's unfortunately not here this weekend as well. He's P4 in the championship, but a little bit further back. He won race number 1 with a brilliant result. Of course, if you're watching at home and you fancy giving it a go on a pit bar machine, or you have a younger rider who fancies giving it a go, head over to the FAB-Racing website. Find out all you need to know there and how to get involved. The best grassroots racing available in the whole of the UK. There is the gap between Kinsey and King, and the 4-time pit bike champion holding his own at the moment in P2. We spoke to him coming into this weekend, and he said he knows he's probably not going to be at his best here at Rowrah. He's absolutely exhausted. He's done 3 race weekends on a row. 2 weeks ago, of course, round 4 at Clay Pigeon, and then last week he had a 10-hour endurance race which he took part in. Said he's maybe not quite recovered from that one. Coming to this one, of course, another 3 races and all the qualifying and practice sessions to look forward to. Maybe this one, not about out-and-out pace, more just about he knows that Quincy's probably going to beat him. Instead, it's just about being consistent, not damage control necessarily, but just being consistent, picking up the maximum amount of points that he can, so when we head into round 6 and round 7 later on in the year, both at Three Sisters, he can continue to be in the fight for the championship.
Yeah, and if it stays this way, I think it'll be a 9-point difference between King and Harrison Quincy as well. Obviously, Harrison Quincy, a young lad compared to all these other lads who are obviously just a little bit older than him, but showing the older ones how it's done. So there is the 12 there of Keaton Payne, just sort of riding his own race at the minute, it seems. Been nice and careful, going into corners, sending it potentially through some corners and trying to catch Jamie King. But so far, it looks like we had the 142 of Matt Lynn, who didn't start the race as well. So only down to 6 riders in this race. The gap between Harrison Quincy and Jamie King is 3.1 seconds so far. So Harrison Quincy having a great lead. Obviously, Jamie King as well, 3.5 behind now. Obviously quite tired for doing 3 race weekends in a row. I mean, I think everyone will be, to be honest. Keaton Payne as well, who we're looking at, 6.1 seconds behind Jamie King, and that is your podium so far. These 2 riders now, I think this is McLean and Thornborough, just sort of making their way nice and carefully through here, trying to chase each other. 6 laps to go in this race. Fastest lap so far is Harrison Quincy. His best lap time was a 52.597. The only rider so far to get into the 52s, half a second faster than Jamie King on this race so far. So far it's a little bit of a quiet race so far, probably the quietest race we've had all day, but still, nonetheless, it's still a great race, and especially if Harrison Quincy can keep this lead, he'll be extending his championship lead to about 9 points.
Yeah, he certainly will be, and Quincy as well showing very strong and consistent paces. Of course, his best lap, as you said, 52.597. That's only a couple of tenths away from the lap record set by Chris Wells last year. And then the last lap, he was a 52.681. The lap before that was a 52.6 as well. So very consistent from the number 755. There is Robert Leveridge, P6. Our final runner in this race looks like the 142 of Matt Lindley, unfortunately did not start. So Leveridge running around at the back. He's a little bit off the pace, unfortunately, but running consistently, but doing his thing, and I'm sure having a good time as well. And because he is in P6, even though he's last on the road, he's still going to be picking up a healthy amount of points, so that's going to help him in the championship massively coming towards the season end, which is great to hear for the number 96. Leveridge making his way out of McRae's and up to Idell's, as there you see in the background some more of our riders, and there is actually our race leader, who's made it 4 laps left to go. 10.55, nearly lapping Robert Leveridge now. Lapping about 3 seconds quicker on the previous tour. In fact, on the previous tour, it's 4 seconds quicker actually was Quincy, so he's got some real pace on him at the moment. Laptop's starting to drop off a little bit now for Quincy, now into the 52.7s. Wonder if maybe the tyres just starting to go a little bit, just getting a bit too warm, the brakes as well, but not long left to go in this race. So I'm sure he's feeling very confident and comfortable on that 7.55 machine. Makes his way through Sunny Bend and into Paddock Bend to make it 3 laps left to go. Harrison Quincy has got a 4-second advantage now over Jamie King, and as you said, Alex, looking to extend his championship lead.
Absolutely, and I think I said it was 9 points before. If he wins this and King comes second, it'll actually extend to 14 points in the championship with 2 rounds to go. Obviously, the next 2 rounds of Fab Racing will both be at Three Sisters as well, so a double round there. So 6 races. As we're now seeing a big move in there. Obviously, only lapping the number 96 out of Robert Leveridge, but still a big send nonetheless. The number 755 just having a fantastic race so far. So Ross, do you want to tell our listeners and all the people watching all around the world, if you do actually want to get into any of these championships, just how easy it is?
Absolutely. As I said a couple of laps ago, if you're sat at home with a pit bike machine and fancy getting involved, head over to the FAB-Racing website. But again, the same goes for all of our classes. Of course, Moto Team, for example, the cheapest variant of motorsport available in the UK. The likes of the O'Keefe family, they just saw it online and they thought, why not give it a go? Bought themselves some cheap bikes, chuck a racing fairing on it, chuck some slicks on it, and away you go. And now they're race winners consistently. And we've got Gary O'Keefe, who's potentially challenging for one of the championships as well. It's so easy to get involved here in Fab Racing. Again, if you've got a young rider, you've got a rider who's not even 6 years old, who maybe wants to give it a go in the Fab Racing Rookies Cup as soon as they are old enough. Again, just head over to the Fab Racing website. Head over to the Fab Racing Facebook pages as well, where there's constant updates there. Also, there's different pages for the different classes. There's a Fab Racing Parents page as well, which I know a lot of the parents in the paddock have set up to help communicate and help everyone grow and help everyone push forward. It's a real family community here on the Master Mac Fab Racing Minibike British Championship. Everybody wants to support everybody. Everybody wants to help everybody push forward, and everyone wants to see everyone doing as well as they can do. Final lap of the race then for the race leader, but this battle for P4 still rages on. Matthew McLean just about holding on from Adam Thornborough. These guys really tight, only 0.4 of a second separating them at the line last time as they make their way through the winding section down into St John's, where the bike gets light over the crest and then compresses right as you get on the brakes and through a slightly banked corner, and then again into a small drop as you come into Sunny Bend. So these guys are going to start their final lap, but there is the race leader, now 6, nearly 7 seconds clear, as there is Jamie King, a mile behind. The reigning champ can do nothing, as coming through surely the final few corners will be Harrison Quincy. Yes, he is. He rounds it and takes the checkered flag. It's dominance from Quincy, who wins race number 1 in the pit bike 140s. Reigning champion Jamie King will come home in P2 and take second in the championship as well as Chris Wells. And of course, others unfortunately not able to be joining us this weekend. Who's going to be on top in the battle for P3? In fact, it's not a battle, it's Keaton Payne bringing it home with a healthy advantage. That was him lapping Robert Leveridge to the line. But a lovely podium there for Keaton Payne, who was having a fantastic weekend at Rowrah here. The 2 races, he's done a win in the senior mini motos and a podium in the pit bike 140s. The 18-year-old is absolutely loving life. Who's going to be on top there? It's going to be the 14, or the 17 should I say, in P4, McLean in P4, Thornborough in P5, and Robert Leveridge in P6. Your 6th and final rider taking the checkered flag, of course, after unfortunately Matt Lindley did not start this race, but it's Quincy on top once again, the 7.55 winning by 8 seconds at the line, and extends his championship lead, if only slightly. Quincy is really starting to show what a talented young rider he is.
And that's all we've got time for today. We've had 10 races. It's absolutely flown by. And I tell you what, we have had some incredible moments today. You know, we've had so many, with so many accidents, crashes, everything, amazing overtakes, dramatic finishes. We have it all here at Fab. So you can join us tomorrow from little bit early because obviously we have 20 races to get through instead of just the 10 that we've had today. 9:30 we will be on air tomorrow. So if you want to join us tomorrow, let us know where you are going to be watching from on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere. We're absolutely everywhere. Make sure you share us, you comment where you're from, what riders you're supporting, and it's going to be a fantastic day of racing tomorrow. Ross, it's been an incredible day here. Just before we wrap up and go on, I'm going to push you. What has been your favourite race today?
Can I say all of them?
Yeah.
They were all absolutely fantastic. It's been another classic opening day at Rowrah. Here at round 5 at the Mastermac FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship in 2025. Saturday never disappoints at this circuit, and we are sure to get some more fantastic racing tomorrow. Unfortunately, we did have to cut the paddock show short at the start of the broadcast, but if you just hang around here on the FAB-Racing YouTube channel, we will be uploading the full paddock show shortly afterwards. Of course, it won't be live, but it will be uploaded as a video format, so make sure if you want to see what our riders had to say, make sure you stay tuned. We will be seeing that uploaded in a little moment's time. But that is all that we've got time here for Saturday's racing. We'll be seeing you tomorrow for all of our race 2s and 3s. Take care.
On the road to MotoGP.
1, 2, 3.
FAB-Racing Minibikes British Championship.